Hey, I'm Nashi.
I'm Rezlar.
And I'm Frosty. Welcome back to the Value Pack.
Hold on, I have to gear check Nash right now. Alright, that is some bull jabber. Dude, he CC'd me out of dance. What's happening? Rezlar!
People look at you like you're crazy, and they refuse to admit that it's pay to win, and just scream that it's pay to convenience! It's pay to convenience!
Big money, big money, big money, big money!
Oh shit, we got it! We fucking got it! And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. It's the Calpheon Ball special. We're going to spend the whole episode talking about the Calpheon Ball, what they announced, what they didn't announce, all the things that are coming, all the things that are not coming, all the things that are never coming. And yeah, that's basically it. It's just the Calpheon Ball. We got a nice little list. They were nice enough to give us a list of everything that they announced, that they talked about. So we're going to be kind of going through everything and just giving our thoughts and opinions on that. But before we get to that, got to thank our lovely, lovely patrons, Garmouth.com, Hawaiian, Melt on Your Mouth, Minaria, and Slytech. Thank you guys so much for supporting us, and all of the subs on all of our Twitch channels, which you can find in the description down below. All right, it's Calpheon Ball time, boys. It's Calpheon Ball time. Now, so we're going to talk about... We're going to do negative first, right? That's what we agreed on?
Well, hold on. You're just going to skip over the fact that we have less patrons because of the Lost Ark release?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sorry. All right. Calpheon Ball, do we do it? I guess we could just do it in order and how they listed it, because it's kind of...
Well, I thought you wanted to get the negative out of the way first.
I'm down with the negative, too. Let's do the negative. I thought you said we have to do the other way.
I said I think it makes more sense to do it that way, but I'm fine with either way. If you want to get the negative out of the way, that makes sense as well.
All right,
they both make sense.
Let's start negative. Here's how I'll present it.
Okay.
And this will probably we'll probably go on and on with a few things, but I want to know like one or two things from each of you guys that you were hoping would get talked about, addressed, or announced that did not get talked about, announced, or addressed.
All right, yeah, Nyashi, I'll let you go first.
Nyashi first. Is there anything from the Calpheon Ball where you're like, man, I hope they talk about this, and they didn't talk about that?
Well, I mean, I didn't watch the full thing. I kind of got the highlights of basically the Calpheon Ball, because essentially, like, from what most players are saying, it was kind of more or less a snooze fest with how elongated they talked about a lot of topics. I think it was like basically the sum up is they didn't really like go into too much like new content per se. They did a little bit, but it wasn't like they just like announced like a whole bunch of random things that, you know, no one asked for, like they have done in the past. So I'm glad they didn't really do that. They talked about, you know, the T5 pet thing, where basically it's going to be like some sort of leader. I think that's interesting and a better approach. Right, if I understand it correctly.
Let me rephrase the question. What?
Wait, I thought you wanted me to.
No, what is there anything they didn't talk about that bothered you? That you're like, man, why is this not in the announcements? Or you were hoping when you look at the notes after, you immediately start running down the list.
And by rephrase the question, he means just state the question again, because Nashi was not listening the first time.
Yeah, so is there anything you were hoping got announced that didn't? That was more the question.
I guess they didn't really talk too much about the PvP arena.
Yeah, by not too much, it was not mentioned at all, not even in the passing.
Yeah, so that's kind of upsetting, because I kind of feel like that's like their next big thing. But yeah, that's my main gripe, I guess, to answer your question.
Yeah. Why do you think they didn't?
Because it ain't ready.
But half the stuff
that's precisely why they didn't talk about it.
Half the stuff they announced isn't ready either, right? Like,
yeah, but I think it's more telling on where they are in the finalization and development of it, that it really just ain't ready.
Yeah.
I think that's just very telling. Like, 'cause, you know, if it was close, like say it's like even a month out, month or 2 months, or within the same quarter, wouldn't you, you know, tout that out and like hype it up, but they didn't. So
Yeah.
that kind of leads me to believe that it's not done and won't be done for a bit. So that's got me a little annoyed.
Yeah. That is 100. I'm concerned about that too, just because, especially after last week, where we finally got something that I think people got excited about. I'm not sure why they wouldn't discuss it. So someone's saying I don't think there's enough people that really care, but it's like there's a lot of stuff in here that got announced that people don't really care that much, right?
I think more people care than they realize. Like, think about it. Like, you even mentioned, like, your play group, friends that used to play BDO that quit. They're interested in coming back if the PvP was easy to get into as far as like gear requirements, which there obviously really isn't any because it's going to have that equalized gear. So it's like that's going to be a huge thing for a lot of veteran players or players that just don't have time to do the grind anymore. Like, even if they're just jumping on the PvP, like there's a large player base for that's just hidden and not playing right now.
That's the thing. So it's like, so he phrased it exactly. They don't think it's important enough for the majority of players, but they spent 1 hour talking about audio, and like, not that the work that they're putting into the audio stuff isn't great or good, and that some people will appreciate it, but I think a very large majority of the player base doesn't care that much about the audio, and a lot of people have the audio off, either music or just all game sounds. So
actually, I only recently turned it back on because someone said the game music was better. And I actually forgot I had it on.
Yeah,
you mentioned it.
You weren't here, and a lot of the people that are going to be watching the YouTube video of this or listening on Spotify or iTunes to the podcast weren't there for the live reaction that we had. But one of the things that was killing me, I forgot I made a command for this. It was my favorite line, my favorite comment in chat during the whole thing, because they were going on and on about audio, right? It was like 35 minutes into it, and someone said, "Do you quote? I quote, do you really think we care about audio when we are all being fucked by sorks?"
Well, dude, if your death music is
good.
really quality, I mean, you might actually enjoy it. If it's like, a soothing elevator music while you're waiting to respawn during a node war.
Can I just cut in here real quick? I just control F'd several things on their write-up, and I also just kind of scanned through it. They didn't even mention the whole music remaster 2 in their own write-up of what they talked about in the Calpheon ball.
I know why. Because they had the wrong subtitle, so they don't even know what got announced. Remember the whole first half of the music? The whole first half of the music thing.
They spent, legitimately, not exaggerating, I think they spent like 40-something minutes talking about Audio Remaster 2, and they couldn't even be fucked to write it up.
It's in here somewhere, Wrestler. All right, hold on. Let me find it.
That's the intern's fuck up.
They have a picture of a Shy outfit, so that sort of implies.
That's close enough? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right?
If it wasn't so like late, I mean, I know Reslar stayed up for it, but like
I did not stay up for it, sir.
I did not. Oh, I thought you did.
I went to bed quite intoxicated at around like 11 something. And then I woke up an hour into the Calpheon ball to Frosty sending me harassing messages about how I wasn't there to watch it with him. And I hopped on Discord at like 4 a.m. and was very tired and still a little intoxicated.
We got full Volko Frieslar.
Frieslar?
Yeah,
what the fuck?
We got Volko Frieslar. He came on, he was like, "Hey, Frosty, what's up?" And I was like, "Reslar, why are you talking like that?" He's like, "Talking like what? What do you mean?" And I was like, "You're being weird, man." Yeah, so they didn't throw that in there. No audio stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure, Nayashe, what the deal is with the arenas, why they wouldn't be at least, because I don't think they're more than like
I'm
3
wrong.
months. I don't think they're more than 3 months away from releasing it,
doesn't-
honestly.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But at the same time, it's concerning when we don't see anything, you know. But I hope I'm wrong. You know, like I really hope it's going to be out relatively soon. Like a couple months is understandable given the state it's in. Like it still needs some work, but I hope it's less than that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like close enough that
Yeah.
it should have at least been thrown in passing. Like, and by the way, if some of you have been following Global Labs, you can see we're working on a ranked arena system that we're very excited about, and hope you guys are
Yeah.
too.
But they had enough time to address the Q&A. Some life skiller complaining about getting ganked. That's the extent of PvP that I think they talked about. Like, oh my god, the actual fuck.
Yeah. So, Resler, let me ask you. So he's only really bothered mostly by the arena not being announced, which is concerning. What are some of the things that disappointed you most that were not announced in this ball?
I mean, same as him, but I would say more large scale. I would say PvP generally was not touched on at all. I don't know, a couple things that I'm fairly confident were not even stated a single time was class balance, Arena Solaire, Node Wars, open world PvP. The entire ball went without even saying like anything about PvP until we got to the Q&A portion at almost the very end, in which a life skiller was complaining about being flagged on. That was basically the only time PvP got brought up. So yeah, PvPers out here not hopeful for the future. At least I'm not. That's concerning that they don't even like talk about it. They don't even bring it up. I mean, like you guys already said, they could have at least mentioned like, yeah, we're working on Arena Solaire. Like, it should be coming out in like a few months. We're still working on balancing it. Like, keep giving us your feedback on our changes. They didn't even do that. So, kind of concerning, honestly. I don't know. It's I understand that like I said to you before we started recording, like everything that they announced ranges from like fine to like, oh, that's a really good change actually. But none of it was like anything that I was really hoping to hear as a PvPer. And in fact, the lack of that anything regarding PvP is very concerning. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Weird world we're living in.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, can I put my tinfoil on for a minute? I was talking in my stream about this earlier before we started the podcast or before we got in call. I have a tinfoil. I'd like to say something that I think is probably going to be very controversial.
Okay.
I'm gonna put on my tinfoil and I'm gonna make a prediction here. Okay.
All right. Sir.
So my
this
prediction
is great because whenever Resler makes a prediction, he usually loses a bet. So let's go.
Very true. Very true. So here's my tinfoil hat prediction. Okay, and I'll explain why I believe this to be the case shortly. I think that within the next 2 to 3 years, I can't decide if I really want to lock in 2. I might be able to lock in 2, but I'm a little scared to lock in 2. So I'm going to just say 2 to 3 years. Within the next 3 years, they are going to completely remove all, like, look at it as non-consensual PvP. So guild decks aren't going to be a thing unless the guilds are decked on each other. They're going to completely remove the entire concept of flagging unless you're on Arsha. Karma is no longer going to be a system that exists in the game. The only way you're going to be able to PvP is Node Wars, Arena Solaire, BA, RBF, like these sort of things that you kind of queue up for or set up for, or if you go to the Arsha channel, or if 2 guilds deck on one another. That's the only way in which you're ever going to be able to PvP. the reason I'm saying this is because it feels as if they are ignoring a lot of the problematic systems that exist regarding things like open world PvP, such as like the karma system, the flagging system, guild decks, things of that nature. And instead, they're making a lot of things to be able to avoid PvP, such as what we're going to talk about later, the instanced grind hour thing. I think that something like that is actually almost like a test run, honestly. They're going to see how people kind of feel about it, just being an hour, and then they're going to use people enjoying that as evidence of, see, people don't want to interact whenever they're grinding, essentially. And so late in the game, again, this is years down the road, but I think within the next 3 years, essentially all grind spots are going to be instanced. There's going to be no open world PvP unless you're on Arsha. That's going to be the only like non-instanced grind spot sort of thing. And it's going to probably not be very good for the game, in my opinion. This also comes from them demonizing PvP over the years. If you're a PvPer and you've been playing this game since launch, like I have, they've kind of taken this stance more and more of PvP is bad, flagging up on people is bad, we don't want anyone to do it. Almost villainizing people who participate in open world PvP, which is concerning. So I think that these are just kind of some of the signs that of what's to come, honestly. I don't know. Again, I understand this is a bold prediction, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, it's
maybe
not,
now that I've predicted it won't
on.
happen. But
it's not that bold because you're hedging it with 2 to 3 years, which we don't even know if we'll be here to check your estimate.
This is a safe bet for rest.
Yeah, but that would. I mean, that is it even really an MMO at that point anymore?
Yeah, I don't know if that would be really.
You can't flag and do any of that stuff in Lost Ark. Do you consider Lost Ark an MMO?
Yeah, right, but Lost Ark has the open world islands.
Okay, consensual PvP, like
Lost
you just
Ark,
said.
Lost Ark doesn't have instance grind zone. That's the real big change, I think. Because the thing is if you don't have PvP,
it very much has instance grind zones. That's literally what Chaos Dungeons are: instance grind zones.
That's one specific type of content, though. That's like saying Altar of Blood is instance, so that we have instance grind zones in BDO.
How is that just one? That's literally the main thing. That's the grind in that game. You're completely instance. You can choose to be with people or not.
I don't know. I haven't played Lost Ark to that point, but
okay.
I don't know. So, it's just interesting.
All right, so I can understand where you're coming from, but I don't think that that's going to happen. And for a couple of reasons, is because one, they already have a bunch of systems in place to get away from people now with the lower cooldowns, with the karma system, with all of this stuff. I don't understand why they wouldn't just do that already, if that's going to be the case, right? That's how I see it. It's like, why not just do that now? Why not just remove flagging now and be like, hey, flagging is toxic. We're going to remove it from the game. Here's your PvP channels. Go PvP there. That's one thing. It's like, the other is, I don't think that because some people are complaining that that's all of the feedback they're getting. And I think that they know it would be bad for the game and bad for a lot of the player base to remove flagging entirely. I understand, some people get grief, some people have issues, but some people also do want a PvP. The thing is about, and I actually do want to just talk about this now since we got into the thing, that the instance grind hour. I've noticed a lot of people's reaction to that is, they're removing my open world PvP. They're removing my open world PvP experience. But here's the thing. If you get 1 hour, let's say they implement a system, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it on a technical level or the interface or whatever, but let's say you get 1 hour of grind time completely to yourself. The people that are going to take advantage of that, or the people that are taking advantage of that every single day, most likely we're not going to spend time PvPing with you anyway. So you're not really losing. Like, if I run into a grind spot And a person is the type of person that's like, dude, I wish I could just grind by myself. They are not interacting in PvP with me. There is no back and forth, awesome PvP I'm getting. There's no like, hell yeah, I'm just slaughtering this person and this is awesome. They either leave or change channels immediately. And I get nothing out of it. So those people just, I won't even have to waste my time trying to get them out of my spot. Or worse off, a lot of those people probably just stay there karma bombing me, which has been a system now for 4 years. So it's like that person is already not really participating in PvP with me. So if I want PvP, I'm not losing anything. The other thing is, if I want PvP, now obviously this doesn't count if there's a drop rate event, which I disagree. I think when they do drop rate events, they should also buff the drop rate of Arsha so people PvP there. But a lot of these people that are like, oh, all I want is PvP, all I want is PvP, are not on Arsha. I don't see any of these people on Arsha. And I don't fully understand it, because it's like, on one hand, these hardcore, and I'm not saying this is you, Reslar, but there's a lot of people that I'm getting this vibe from. It's like, oh, all I want is just my open world, awesome, authentic PvP. And it's like, the reality is, no, what you want is to kill someone that's going to die in one hit and doesn't want to PvP with you. But when you can go PvP a bunch of people that do want to PvP and they kill you back, you don't want. That's too much. Mm-hmm. And there's like this weird thing where it's like, I just want to kill people that don't want to PvP. I don't want to kill people that do want to PvP. So that's like where it's kind of bothering me a little bit, because we do have decks and we do have the Arsha server, and these people aren't on the Arsha server. It's people that are like, oh yeah, man, this sucks. Like that guy that I killed once at 2 p.m. today, and then this other guy I killed at 6 p.m. today in my 8-hour grind session. I won't have that anymore. It's like, those people aren't interacting with you anyway. And the only reason a lot of people are interacting with you is because the fucking grind spots are overly crowded. They don't even want the PvP to begin with. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm like torn on this. It's like, do we want to force people to have to PvP all the time? Because most of those people don't want to anyway. They just want to change channels or leave. And then the people that do want to PvP, I think they should foster an environment where that's possible, which they kind of do with Arsha. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's almost like whenever I hear it or read it, the way it's being written, it's like almost makes sense to me that Pearl Abyss is doing. Because I every time I see the announcement, it's like, okay, like how much of this PvP is happening that they need to make all these changes? Because I don't run into it at all. And I'm starting to realize over time, it's like, oh, it's probably because I have a lot of gear, and these people that want to just kill people that don't have any gear don't want to actually PvP with people that have similar gear to them or can PvP like them. They just want to kill people that can't really defend themselves or don't feel like they have time, or like people that got home from work. So then it starts to be like, oh, now I get why Pearl Abyss wants to do this, because these people literally want to shit on noobs and they don't want to actually PvP. I don't, and I'm not saying, Reslar, that is you. I'm not. But yeah, I'm starting to see more and more like that's the actual trend. What people are mad about is that they're not going to be able to go around and shit on noobs, even though there's already a place where they could go. You could go fight YoFam Steve anytime you want. He's literally broadcasting himself on Arsha, running around in Elvia. And if you want PvP, you get to go just run into Steve. I go to Orcs all the time on Arsha, and it is filled with people PvPing over at the respawn point. But the thing that's bothering people is that the guy that has 600 gear score isn't going to be at Orcs anymore trying to make extra money, and I can't just one stomp him or flash slash and he's dead. That's like the vibe I'm getting, and I don't really fully understand why that's the enjoyable PvP. I mean, I guess I get it, right? It's like killing people and not being contested probably feels better, but that this notion that like, oh, they're taking away my authentic PvP. Most of the people that are there don't want a PvP, and they just change channels anyway. I'm in Discord, like when I'm grinding all day and I'm in Discord with a bunch of people from Notorious, and these are people that are like, they can all PvP, at least to some level. They all have gear, they can all PvP. They're not PvPing all day unless it's like a deck or a rivalry with people. And most of them are just like, this channel's taken. The Alki's like the only exception where he like goes around and fights people all day. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just starting to wonder if it's almost like I'm almost disappointed that people are making me kind of see why they're doing this when I'm also kind of against it. Yeah, like like I like the idea of running into people open world and fighting for the spot. But I also kind of more into it if like the other people I'm doing it with are also into it. But if I'm just making people's day miserable, I don't know if I'm as into that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm phrasing that right.
What if it was a moose?
But I do think that those people do exist, but I don't think that's everybody though.
I don't think that's everybody either, but okay, so here's kind of part 2 of it.
Okay.
I think people are overreacting a little bit to the 1 hour. The people that are going to GVG with you and do want a PvP and are willing to fight for spots and are okay with contesting spots, maybe they'll do their 1 private hour, but then that's it. Like then the rest of the time they won't be doing it, and those people will still be there. So it's like for Dalen, I'll just use you as an example because you grind a lot, and Dalen enjoys doing GVGs. He probably will try to get in his 1 efficient private hour every day and just like go super ham on an efficient grind, and then after that he'll be on normal servers GVGing and PvPing with everyone just like usual. So I don't think it actually changes that much. So I'm not fully on board with the, oh, okay, so they're trying to remove PvP entirely from the whole game. Like I don't see it that way. I think it's more like they kind of are understanding there are people that are like, fuck, man, I drive 1 hour to work every day. I work for 8.5 hours. I drive 1 hour back. I have kids. I have 1 hour to grind. And the whole time, I'm just getting one shot by Alki. And it would be really cool. It would be really cool if I could just get in a little bit of a grind before I go to bed because I got shit to do and I can't be spending time chasing a Sork around. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not overly reacting. Now, I am concerned with the lack of PvP stuff, although my concern is more the lack of... Node Wars are really trash right now, and Siege is really trash right now, and I think for them to not even say like, hey, we know that the numbers are down, people aren't participating in this stuff, we're going to try to figure it out, we're looking into it, we don't have a solution yet, but we are working on it, we understand you guys aren't enjoying this game mode right now. And it's like, that not being addressed at all bothers me a little bit more than the open world stuff. And I can understand why people are bothered by the open world stuff. I just don't think it's as doom and gloom as like, they're going to remove flagging and they're going to remove all this stuff. And you're not the only one who said it, Rez. I definitely read that a lot. A lot of people feel that way.
Well, for the record, that's tinfoil. I am throwing a tinfoil prediction out there. I'm not saying that that's what I like think is going to happen. That's what's likely to happen. I'm saying I'm seeing some writing on the wall that is concerning me as a person who's been PvPing in this game for what, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. That's all I'm saying. And for the record, I agree with you about the 1 hour thing. If it's kept to 1 hour, then that's fine. I kind of look at that as just more of Black Daily Online, which I'm also not a fan of. But like, I get why it's there. I get why it's necessary. But however, like I'm concerned about like, again, what I said earlier. I'm concerned that they're going to say like, oh, look at how much our players like this. Like we should expand this to be like bigger or whatever. That's what I'm concerned about. Can I say that that's for sure what's going to happen? No, that's why I said it's tinfoil. But I'm concerned with how they're going to look at this and then expand it rather than the change itself.
Did they mention that they were changing their approach? Because weren't they originally saying that this grind hour thing was supposed to be like some RNG drop type of thing?
Yeah, so this is a different system that they talked about to fill you in. Essentially, they were going to let you have... I don't even know how they're going to do it. They didn't really detail how the interface is going to work or anything, right, Rez? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, they just said they didn't give any specifics. It sounds like, if I had to guess, you're probably going to go talk to the node manager and it's going to instance you into the grind zone. You can't leave the grind zone or something like that.
Right.
Approach.
Yeah. Well, and their version of instance means you'll be under the map right below the actual grind zone.
Yeah, true.
In a replica of the grind zone. And you'll be like, why are there people on my map, but no one's actually here with me? This is weird.
Yeah, underneath. Yeah.
The basement.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how the other thing that they mentioned about this was the Elvia servers. Right now they have server A, like they have a little graph. I love that they have a graph that shows this, but server A is normal orc camp, server B is Elvia orc camp, and they're now going to have you could do normal or LV on any of the channels, which will be fucking nice. But yeah, I don't know. Like on one hand, I agree. I guess like my thing, because I was getting into it with chat earlier, Rez, before we all got in a call, and they were like, they kind of had the same sentiment as you, although theirs sounded less tinfoil and like this is definitely happening. But my thing is like, dude, we've had this shitty karma system in the game for 4 years. We've had they removed the EXP and stuff on death. They refused to give us rewards for PvPing. Like, I can't say that I'm sitting here disappointed about them not driving the open world stuff into more PvP when they just haven't done it at all. So it's not any different to me. Like, for me, it's like the last 4 years have been trying not to do it. I mean, essentially ever since they made Valencia 6, which was the original Arsha server, and then Arsha server. So I'm just not surprised. It seems fairly par for the course. Like I mean, even the outlaw system, which is like weird because on paper, it's like, oh shit, that encourages PvP, but really it's designed to discourage PvP. And that was like a year ago, and that was like hard, and we never even got that system, and I'm not sure why. Maybe the West, maybe it's there, and that's another thing too, that, and I think you've heard me say this before, is maybe in Korea it's way more of an issue than here. And maybe in Korea it's like it bothers them more, and some of these systems might not make it to our server, because we never got the outlaw system, and I don't think our server would receive the outlaw system well, personally.
No,
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it would
not
be a major disappointment.
It's hard to understand, like, are they doing this for us, or are they doing this for KR? Or, like, what's happening, you know? We just kind of have to guess, and that's kind of a sucky thing about the whole push for globalization thing, which was really just an excuse to get pay to win into our game.
Yeah, so let me go into detail more on some of the stuff that I also am bothered that didn't get announced. Staying in line with PvP, they removed Balanos and Serendia like 6 months ago because they were reworking them. Where are those regions for Siege? What happened to that? Why don't we have that?
True.
Also, they said if nodes are not contested, node war. They said this again like 6-7 months ago when we first got the system, that they would reduce the number of nodes if there's like no fighting or no PvP. Where is that? Why is that not happening? Why do we still have like 18 different guilds in the game that all hold 9 nodes? I don't understand why that's going on. So I don't understand why. Again, this is why it's like, I understand a little bit being bothered by the open world stuff, but I don't understand not being way more pissed about why is the organized PvP stuff just completely left out entirely. It's all just, they didn't talk about the arenas, they didn't talk about node war, they didn't talk about siege, they didn't talk about balance, and it's like all of this stuff is not in a good spot right now. So it's like, hello?
Yeah. No, 100%. And like, it was so funny because again, in the Q&A question of the life skiller complaining about being killed, he said that something along the lines of like, we're trying to push more people towards official. Man, I don't know. Meaning
Which
more
ties
like
into how you felt about it. Yeah.
meaning more like RBF, Node Wars, things of that nature. But then they don't talk about RBF. Like I don't know, yeah, just like say like, and that's why we're working on Arena Solaire. Like continue, like even like the most like basic of like acknowledgement would have been nice. But we didn't even get that, which is a big letdown. They just kind of said like, yeah, we're working on PvP so that you life skillers don't have to deal with those villainous cretins anymore. And I was like, okay, man, but like, what are you doing? And then it's like, moving on.
Pretty much.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I actually don't mind open world PvP. So I just keep thinking about this instance 1 hour thing. The reason why I'm actually excited about the 1 hour of just being able to go as ham as you want, pop your J scroll and all that stuff and not really worry about it is because the amount of times I get people that just start killing my mobs. And I can't do anything about it because eventually I run out of karma. I mean, I can try to feed them, but there's no guarantee that the feed is going to go through, you know? So it's like, That
But see,
shit
that's
drives me nuts.
to answer a question that you asked earlier. That's exactly why they can't just like remove flagging, because then that would be just absolutely rampant.
It would be
That's
crazy.
It would
that's
be
big,
awful.
that's a big part of why I think that in this big push to remove, I guess, what they would call unofficial or PvP, open world PvP, it would have to have instance grind zones, because you would have like no way to resolve conflicts on grind zones and things of that nature.
Just
The
think of
amount
all
of
the mooses
griefing
that
would be
follow
insane.
Frosty around. It'd be horrible.
Yeah, I think
So I
right
don't
now
know.
the only reason they don't is because I have a grab, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then separately from the PvP stuff, Ultra Blood and Savage Rift got taken from the game, and those weren't good content to me. I didn't think they were very good. I think Ultra Blood had a brief stint where it felt kind of good because they made the rewards good during an event, but the actual content wasn't good. What are those not being revamped? Are those not being reworked? Did they just remove that entirely? Also, I think Rez, I can't remember if it was you that pointed it out when we were watching the ball. I almost felt insulted that when they were talking about PvP, they talked about like Arsha and Battle Arena, and then they said team battle as if that's a thing people use.
What?
And I was just like, what? No, man. Like, team battle could have been a cool thing too, and that also is.
Wasn't it like implemented for like a week and then they took it away?
No, we still have it. Team battle is still there.
It's still in?
It's still in. You can literally go into team battle right now. Team battle is a
Holy
like
shit,
a
it is.
It's like a 5v5 or a 4v4 where you go one person at a time. It has an incredibly long wait time, incredibly long, like, it's, the timer is too long. It's a small arena. The idea of it is kind of cool, but what happens is when one person loses, they just leave, but you need them at the end if you make a comeback, because at the end you fight like your full team versus full team if it's tied. And it's just, it was like a cool idea that was, as Reslar says, implemented poorly. And then just never touched again.
You mean the Pearl Abyss special?
The PA special.
Yeah.
I actually forgot it was still in. I thought they took it out because of some bugs or something. I know it was kind of buggy at first.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
So I remember Hands like streaming it when it first came out, and I was watching him do it. But then it was like, because that was when Lakari was actually still playing, I think.
Yeah,
and they all did it, and I guess they had a few moments of fun. But then it was just like there was bugs or something like that, and so no one like did it anymore. And I thought they removed it, but I guess not.
And don't they still have Final Battle too?
Yeah, for like guilds.
Yeah, that's still a thing, but no one really does that.
And then didn't they add the desert mines things to our game, but they actually took away the whole PvP aspect of that too, I believe.
Oh, the siege tanking things, the oil rigs.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how that actually works, honestly.
I think I'd seen someone yesterday actually was completed construction on their something.
Yeah, like Jax is pointing out, the server battles are supposed to come with that. Where two different like home servers are going against each other. Like all the guilds that are home servers on one would have to fight all the guilds that are home servers on the other for rewards and stuff, or dominance or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that either.
And of course, the biggest of all the big sads. Rest in peace, Thornwood Castle. You will be remembered forever.
Yeah.
Man, looking back, there's a lot of just unfortunate PvP related content that just got fucked by like lack of pursuit, support and pursuit to finalize that particular piece of content. Feels bad.
All right, we ready to move on to the positives?
Wait, let me think. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Because like I said, basically everything that they did announce is positive.
Yeah,
it's just like
how
much
cool
they
stuff
left out.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I wasn't feeling like super hyped about it, but after when I went back and reread it, I kind of was excited about all the stuff that they did announce. I mean, the thing is it was a very modest set of announcements, but I think
Which
it's
I think is
a lot
good.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier for them to actually release this stuff.
Yeah. They've had too many times where they've just announced like a whole bunch of interesting things that they just never followed through with. Hell, we got a backlog of things that they still announce and haven't said anything on, basically, right?
I think the biggest thing that's disappointing is just the lack of explanation as to why they've stopped doing certain things that they said they were going to. Such as like class balance, right?
I think they just know it pisses you off.
Like they literally said, like, we're gonna continue making changes and blah 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 blah, and then just stopped. And so this ball could have been a good opportunity to give some sort of explanation, like re-jump that process. Like, I don't know. But instead, it's just we act as if we didn't make a promise and then immediately like fall through on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I kind of hope that they don't do one in the summer and that they wait until winter when there's like actual new content and stuff to announce and release all at once. Get people hyped again. I think if they do a summer ball and it's like, hey, we have a new class and here's some quality of life stuff, I don't know, man. I don't know how many more of those people could take, to be honest. But
yeah, like I think the quarterly announcements are just too difficult on their time constraints.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just need to do it once a year. Maybe twice a year. Maybe twice a year is a bit hard, especially with them having this new philosophy of like don't overpromise things. Maybe they need to swap to once a year.
That way everything is like super jam-packed and exciting and super hyped up.
Yeah, exactly. You can have your once a year like BlizzCon type thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know probably a lot of people won't like that because that means less free shit, but
well, yeah, as far as like codes and, you know, event items and stuff like that, yeah, that's true.
You do super duper.
I gotta admit, 3,000 cron stones, it's pretty fucking juicy.
Yeah.
Although it literally netted me nothing. But that's a totally different story.
Okay. Let's talk about this class. I want to do the I can't remember, Rez, did you join after the class was already announced?
After, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you
I joined in on the very tail end of that when they had just started their TED Talk on Audio Remaster 2.0.
Did you go back and watch the trailers?
I did. I've watched all the
Okay.
I've watched all the media.
I've seen the trailers as well.
Okay, so I'm going to play this. I'll stream in Discord so you guys can look at it at the same time. But these are the two trailers, and I actually liked these. Specifically the Guardian and Drakania one. I thought was pretty cool. I liked the way they did it. So here's the trailer for anyone who missed it, but they released this, and I thought this one was pretty cool because the lore behind it, and I'm not super into lore, but this one is pretty simple and easy to grasp. There's two dragons that these two characters, Guardian and Drakania, are descended from, and they're like rival dragons, so they hate each other just at birth because they have this dragon blood in them. So I kind of liked this little cinematic, even though it wasn't like too crazy, but it was kind of cool.
Basically, they're racist.
The gods.
God damn, Discord's really crunching this shit.
Mine. That flame which fuels greed must be extinguished. Only then will the long-lost paradise of dragons return.
I hate the heels. Why heels? Give me boots, damn it.
Well, you know how women wear high heels when they're fighting on ice?
Suck Guardian, so busted.
Yeah, Suck Guardian is beating Drakania's ass, and she doesn't even have her offhand.
Lightning's blaze.
And then she one-shots the Guardian.
Yeah, then she one-shots the Guardian. So that was that one. Let me see if I could grab the other one here real quick. This is the actual combat trailer now. Here we go. So here's the actual combat trailer. Did it? Do I have to restream? Did it stay streaming? Okay. Little bird falling from the sky.
That shit looks ridiculous. You just get to it and it shows right there. That's cool.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this class is going to be awful for a melee class to fight against. I feel like every hit just has this massive AoE. Jesus Christ. If that didn't have like an anime feel to that final finishing move.
Yeah, the multiple strikes of lightning.
Well, just even that and the teleporting up and then slashing down with your sword as a final attack. It just screams anime.
So she's kind of, from those animations, she's lightning and it looks like there's a little bit of fire in there. She fights with her sword. They called her offhand the Shard. I don't know if it actually has a name. She uses a great sword that's called Slayer. They said it's based off Zweihander. Did I say that right? I think I did that right. I know it looks pretty cool. I think a lot of people felt this way. Yes, I did, Bay Crawls. Relax. I think a lot of people feel this way, but I think it looks a little bit on the slow side, which is just odd because during the presentation, they talked a lot about how because it's smaller than a greatsword, they were able to make her really fast. But it doesn't look fast. Nothing in it really looks that fast to me. At all. Did it look like a fast class to either of you guys?
It's about the same speed as like Guardian when it first came out, but you know they're gonna speed it up.
It does look a little bit, maybe a hair faster than Guardian. I don't know if I'd go full Guardian level. It looks a little faster than Guardian to me,
That's
but
fair.
Somewhere between Guardian and like Succession Corsair.
I just think it just has so many AoEs. Obviously, Sork won't have any problems. It'll just iframe everything, but...
Matto said it's because was perma-slowed by that Guardian. I don't know. Rez, did it look fast to you? How'd the combat look to you? Fast or good or whatever. I think Rezler got rainstormed.
No, my dad called me. Sorry, what's up?
The combat, they mentioned before they showed the trailer, or maybe it was after, I can't remember, but they mentioned that because her sword is a little bit smaller than a great sword, they were able to speed her up and make her feel fast. But the combat to me, and I think a lot of people in the chat during it doesn't look fast. Did it look fast to you, or like how did the? I guess just overall, how did the class look to you, and from the combat that you saw?
Slower than your average class, faster than Guardian, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Slightly faster than like Suck Nova, probably.
Yeah. My concern is just those AoEs. How big are those going to end actually? Do those AoEs actually be in PvP sense? Because sometimes you can't really trust the graphical range of things because it's not always accurate. Kind of feel like those AoEs are going to be huge.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's like lightning fire. She's the daughter of a dragon. She's rivals with Guardian. Her skills seem a little bit on the heavier side. The animations look really cool. I'm not that big a fan of the fire, but I think the lightning looks really cool. And I like the whole like the dragon wings that kind of pop up and that bird thing that falls from the sky look really cool. I don't know if the mobility looks like great. It looks okay. Like there's a couple movement skills in there that look all right. It's kind of hard to tell. I know when they were doing some of their other demos, some people were saying she has no iframes. It's all super armor. She's just going to die in that. But I'm not really too sure. Some of the features that they mentioned about her, I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. Maybe I should have taken notes. These notes.
I took screenshots of some of the stuff that they said and put it in the chat with us.
Yeah, they said that she'll.
Engage.
They said something about debuffs, right? That players' debuffs will be able to be removable. Slow debuffs.
Slow effects specifically is one that was mentioned.
That's kind of cool. They said that she has utility. They said they something about slow effects. They also said something about HP recovery.
And being able to do charge attacks without actually charging when she has her ion buff up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has like an ion meter.
Her ion gauge.
So that's... Yeah, I mean, obviously we need to see more, but I don't know. The ideas of all of it sounds kind of cool. They said she has a lot of utility.
Imagine doing like Warriors Reckless, instantaneously without charging up.
Oh yeah, they said.
You mean like he does an e-buff?
They said, yeah, they did say steal resources.
Oh yeah, it does say that too. Yeah, and that feature that steals resources also does a monster pull, so for grinding.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it said it can remove movement speed debuffs for you and your allies. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So they basically took what they were gonna potentially do for Mewa and Musa and put it towards this class. Kind of. Although they were just gonna make Mewa and Musa immune entirely. We were asking for them to actually make an ability that would, like Mayo's will or Musa's will, you just pop that 15-second cooldown, remove the slow effects. Even one of the GMs was saying an idea like that during one of the tournaments.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why should they get that?
I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying it was an idea that was being thrown around at the time. And it looks like they obviously took that idea and applied it to this class.
So someone did a side-by-side here. Let me stream this for you guys so you guys could see it. Someone did a little side-by-side of the kind of comparisons between some of these other classes. Here, have a look at this.
They're doing a...
Okay, so here, this is... Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back a little bit. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is side by side.
Né? Principalmente porque eles estão começando a reaproveitar coisa demais das classes anteriores, né? Nessa classe agora a gente vê diversas animações assim escrachadamente copiadas de outra classe. O dash dela é idêntico ao dash da Corsária e pô, a Corsária foi a classe que foi
similar.
Dessa, né? Nem tentaram
little side scoot similar to Guardian.
So no originality.
Airstrike. It does kind of look like Airstrike.
copiar uma classe mais antiga. Copiaram logo da Corsária. Tem movimentos que são exatamente iguais ao da ODK.
So they recycled animations.
Hey, to make a perfect class, you have to take a little bit from everyone, all right?
Take all the best aspects and apply it.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Here, I'll share the timestamp, but thank you for that, Casdom. I'll share the timestamp of that in the chat. That's very interesting.
I mean, that's not uncommon though.
Yeah, I mean, I have 24 classes, a bunch of specs. I guess making a side dash. I don't know. You could make it look a little different though. I'm not
like if it's. I mean, I'm sure there's more comparisons that you can find once we actually get all the skills and whatnot, but. You know, if it's just like 3 skills or whatever, and appears to be like mostly like mobility type skills, except for one of them being like, you know, the slam down, that's not really a big deal. But I get it. Like, yeah, they're probably recycling some skills that they already designed for other classes. It's pretty normal for that to happen, though.
Yeah. That all having been said, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's fairly unique. I like that it's a sword. I think one of the surprises to me is that it's coming. I figured it was going to come out kind of soon since they started teasing it, and they've been pretty good about that with classes. When they tease it, it comes out relatively soon. But April 6th is going to be a huge update because April 6th is new season, new class, new region. All on the same day. So April 6th is going to be kind of nutty. Like there's a lot coming down the pike on April 6th, and then they also we'll get to it in a bit, but they also mentioned Calpheon Elvia is going to be on Global Labs next week. So
they said it was next week?
On Global Labs, Calpheon stuff, yeah. So I don't know, like
that'd be interesting.
There's I think the class looks pretty cool. I'm excited. It's I need to see how fast it is, because my one thing is like I want to tag this class and I want to play it seriously. I can't play a slow class. So if it ends up feeling like Guardian, I probably won't main it. Or even like play it tagged for that long.
Not even just to do the 100%.
No,
it's the anime drop.
And I think it's okay. Some people prefer slow classes. I just don't want to be that guy that plays a slow class and complains that it's slow all the time when it's like it just is slow, you know? I don't know. We'll see what's up, but I think it looks fun for now. I think it looks fun.
It looks interesting, but yeah, I agree with you. We have to see more.
Rez, does this look interesting? Are you tagging this?
Probably not.
Why not?
I don't know. We'll see when the Awakening comes out. I don't know. It doesn't look supremely fun to me. I mean, the effects look really nice. They did a really good job with like the lightning effects and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Just doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in. I'd probably sooner play Guardian than I played this, but we'll see when the Awakening comes out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, that helmet is goofy as shit.
Well, let's talk about the Awakening, because one thing they did say is that the Awakening is very, very far from finished, that they want to spend a lot of time on it and make it feel really good, and they want this whole kit to be balanced and feel like it was designed with Succession in mind before releasing Awakening, so they're not going to rush Awakening, which tells me Awakening's probably not coming till May or June. Like, really far. They were pretty clear that Awakening is not coming for a long time on this class. And my only real concern with that is, I mean, obviously, like, I just want the Awakening to be out so I could try it, because it's different spec and it'll probably be fun and whatever. But my concern is, does that also mean the 2C skills that a lot of these classes rely on are also not coming until June? So the class is going to feel incomplete, which is going to make people hate the class in the beginning, which always happens. And I don't understand why they do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the whole, Like, is it going to have her bombs? Is it not going to have her bombs? Is it not going to have C skills? Like, that sort of stuff always drives me nuts, that it's just not done with the class. It's another one of those, like, well, then just don't release it until it is kind of thing. At least that's how I feel about it. But I don't know. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Awakening. If it doesn't come out for a long time, does that mean they're not going to have any C abilities, and it's just going to have 2 less skills than every other class for a long time?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I kind of hope this doesn't become the new norm, where it's like, I don't know. They basically admit that they haven't even like really gotten anywhere on the Awakening yet, right?
Mhm.
God knows if they've even started it. Because I'm like you, right? Release it all together, or don't release it at all. I don't know. I almost, again, this might just be like the what's the word I'm looking for? The negative person in me coming up. A part of me is like, I wonder if they basically like forced this out because they needed to have like something big to be like, oh dude, like this is coming out. Because like they couldn't rely on the region, because the region's been out in KR for what, 4 months? You said earlier. So
Yeah.
if they were like, oh, the region's going worldwide, it's like, it's the reaction would basically just be like, oh, it's about time, rather than like, oh hell yeah. So I don't know. Part of me is like, I wonder if they just like forced this out because they didn't have any like big content, right? Any other big content being released. I don't know.
Maybe. The only thing that makes me doubt that is just because it's almost been a year since the last class came out, and they were rifling them out like crazy before. It's actually, I still actually think it's so nuts that Corsair came out in July, and we're now like, it's about to be, this is coming out in April, so it'll be 10 months. I think the only other classes that were that far apart was maybe I mean, Striker Mystic was about 6 months for us, although on KR they got Mystic pretty quick. Maybe between Archer and Lon was kind of far. I don't know. It's just odd. Seems very far. Seems like a long time. I don't know. The class looks cool. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm really curious, obviously, how it'll be in PvP and PvE. Hopefully it's at least good at grinding. We'll see. It was funny because like every new class felt insane at grinding, and then Corsair was kind of weird when it came to grinding. Like I still think Corsair grind is not that great, at least in Succession. Maybe it's all right, but I don't think it's amazing. All right, so that's the new class coming April 6th.
Hold on. What do you think the Awakening is going to be? We gotta take bets. We gotta get theory crafting.
See, this is the hardest part. The Awakening is the hardest part because the pre-awakened weapons always kind of make sense to me, and then the Awakening is always something wild.
Yeah.
So there's
this could be this. She could be the next musical class, you know.
Stop.
She's gonna be the bard.
I mean, she has this whole dragon theme going on, but the only dragons I really see are the lightning, right? That's like the shape of a dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they mention if she's magic or melee? I can't remember. Like her skills look magical, but
melee.
She's a melee class. They said melee? Okay. So
I'm pretty sure I when I was watching the video, they said she was melee focused.
So if she's a melee damage class, then I feel like that limits a little bit of what her Awakening could be.
Well, I don't know about that. Look at Ranger.
I think they're just gonna make her Awakening is gonna be shouts, and she's gonna be basically Skyrim.
She's gonna be what?
She's gonna be a Skyrim character. She just
Skyrim?
The Dragonborn.
I see.
I know this is probably some real copium, but I really hope that with this pre-awakening / succession being very like nightly, and you have like the big sword and like the helmet and like the kind of like fancy armor, that the awakening is more like, I don't know, like feral, I guess would be like the word. Like, I don't know. Like use like dragon powers and shit like that.
Should be Dragonborn, dude.
I don't get the reference, Nash. I don't play 20-year-old games.
20-year-old
Anyway.
game.
Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of hope they have like this nightly thing with the succession and they go like more feral with the awakening. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Rezlar just hates good games. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I'm trying to think.
I tried to play Skyrim like just a couple months ago, and the controls gave me a headache. I stopped instantly.
Yeah. Two-handed hammer. I don't know. The only reason I don't want a two-handed hammer is it sounds slow. I don't want it to be slow.
I keep seeing people say like, "Why do we not have a hammer class?" Like 100%. I too am kind of getting like sword fatigue, where we find out like another obscure sword from like you know another country, another language that we can throw onto a class.
I feel like it'd be a little weird though to have a giant great maul along with a great sword.
Yeah, and you see swap.
Yeah, no, I don't want a hammer for this class, but I do want a hammer class at some point.
Yeah,
I think that's part of why. I think that's part of why people were so excited for the Wukong, because they were like, "Oh, dude, bow staff probably like fuck yeah, let's get a bow staff
new
class.
and unique." Yeah,
yeah, and then we get another sword instead, and people are kind of like, "Ah, man."
What if she C swaps to like those like fan blades? That could be kind of cool.
Like
for awakening.
Katana. From,
yes, like Katana from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I would have expected that more for like lawn, a lawn type class.
Everyone in chat,
really.
Everyone in chat is like, yeah, original bow staff. That'd be unique. Tamer, sad.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, let's be real. Tamer doesn't actually exist in this game.
I
can't remember the last time I seen a Tamer actually.
And she has a sword. You know what would be really cool and unique? What if? There's no way it's gonna happen. But what if they kept her awakening is just this weapon? It's like, or like a slightly different version of it, and it's just a whole new skill set. Like she doesn't actually change weapons necessarily. So like your awakening weapon slot is like I don't know. It's like literally dragon. Yeah, it's like dragon's blood goes into that slot. Like you enhance it up, and it like just enhances her main hand, so she gets to still use a two-handed sword. Because I think a lot of people that want a class with a two-handed sword don't want to play something that's not a two-handed sword. That would actually be really cool.
I think you know, she just, for her awakening, she just opens her mouth and then she can use shouts. You know,
shut up. She turns into isn't that Shiva from Mortal Kombat?
Something like that, yeah.
She just screams at you and breaks glass, but doesn't really hurt anybody. Everyone's ears are kind of like, okay, we'll just put in earplugs.
Imagine getting fucking tossed around by a fucking destroyer. What are they actually? What is the actual name of the class again?
I mean, what?
What's the name of the class again?
Oh, Drakania.
Drakania, yeah. Crazy.
Destroyer of Enix and the antithesis of Guardian.
Yeah.
I like her weapon's name, just being called Slayer. Yeah, it's usually what classes that look like her are called, but they just call the weapon that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Something cool, I hope. We'll see. It'll probably be fucking random. It'll probably be she'll probably have blow darts or something. It just throws you completely off. You'd never expect poison darts.
No, I got it. It's gonna be dragon claws. She'll become a striker essentially with claws.
I'd be fine with that.
They're already stealing attacks from other classes. I mean, fuck it. You might as well go all the way.
Maybe it'll be Markthanon's like dragon's teeth, and they're poisonous, and she becomes like poison themed in Awakening.
That'd be interesting. We haven't. I mean,
Dude, imagine if her awakening weapon is called Dragon Spine, and it's literally just like a greatsword that's made of bones, like dragon's bones.
That would be pretty cool.
Dude, that would actually be so fucking cool. And it's like a little bit more poison themed, like poison and blood. All right, now I'm in. PA, please. You're welcome.
I'm sorry, did you say pan flute? Because that's probably what we're gonna get.
What's with you and poison? Okay, don't pretend like I've been talking about poison for months, all right?
Yeah, well, hold on though, because
I want a poison. I do want a poison-based class, all right? I think damage over time classes are cool.
Years ago, when we talked about theoretical classes, you wanted a necromancer that did dots,
like poisons and curses
specifically. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty cool concept because you could do so much with curses.
Yeah, I want like a witch doctor style class with locusts and shit. Oh my god.
Could you imagine that in Node Wars? You just like locust one guy and he goes back to regroup and it's just fucking
it's just locusting everyone. Oh my god, that'd be so fun.
I kind of like the idea of claws. I feel like that fits into the whole like feral theme that I would like to see, honestly.
It would fit that kind of theme, and it would be so unoriginal that it would work for PA too.
Exactly, and like you said, they could just steal animations from like Striker.
Did you say? Did you say so unoriginal? You don't think?
Yeah,
you don't think
so
the
unoriginal it would work for PA?
You don't think the harpoon gun was fairly original?
I'm just going along with the whole video.
You fucking Mewa sheep. Sorry.
I do love that PA. Like, I don't think it was even that long before Corsair released. Somebody asked them about a gun class, and they were like, "Oh, we don't think guns are gonna work super well in the world of BDO. That's why we're coming out with a class that uses a harpoon gun because it's not a gun." It's like Jesus Christ,
dude.
Semantics.
The harpoon gun's pretty fun.
It's not a gun though.
See,
yeah, it's not a gun though.
I'd be way more into Corsair Awakening if it was a little bit faster. Okay, here.
Oh, yeah, you haven't really talked about that class at all.
And more importantly, if it had poison. You would definitely be into it if it had poison.
I found her Awakening. It's
maybe if it causes asphyxia, you know, you're just like underwater basically while you're fighting her.
Are we into this?
Oh yeah, is this it?
You like that origami dragon glass? You can make these at home if you want to play her Awakening before it's out.
Yeah?
This is a video. You want me to link the video? This image is from a video on how to make origami dragon claws.
Oh, man. That's fucking fantastic.
It's pretty cool, right?
I think that's perfect.
Unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to do anything like that because all of their women have to be like super gorgeous, model, refined, all this kind of bullshit. So probably not gonna happen.
I'm still digging the idea of like a dragon spine sword. That'd be fairly unique.
The dragon spine sword, that kind of reminds me. It's obviously it's not a dragon, but like in the final season of Bleach that was animated by Genju, I think. He had like a giant fucking greatsword, and it turned like all bony and whatnot when he like went to his Bankai or something like that.
Someone's been rewatching Bleach lately.
It shows up on my feed, dude.
He brings up Getsuga Tensho out of nowhere earlier, and now he's talking about the development and then process. You can't stop. Like,
you literally can't stop. There's no escaping it.
Yeah. I don't know. What about like a proper like pike? Like a big spear. Like remember in
Are you just gonna insult Maywas like that, bro?
Well, remember yeah, that's true. It is kind of similar to that. No, you're right. That wouldn't work.
I mean, with how Maywa uses the spear, yeah, it's kind of
lame, yeah.
Wasn't the word I was gonna use, but yeah, sure, I guess. I like the Maywa spear. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think the
origami hands is the only way they can create an awakening for that class.
I think the origami hands are kind of set in stone.
I mean, I think Origami Hands is unique. There's not another Origami Hands in here.
Like,
so.
I mean, the worst matchup for it is Corsair because of all the water, but you know, like any other class is fine.
Oh, what if they did like a yeah, someone in your chat, how about wings for an awakening weapon? They could do like a Phoenix Stance Udyr, where like those wings above her become her actual weapons, like on her arms or something.
That would be cool.
That could be neat.
Yeah. That could be cool.
We're gonna
like someone said earlier, lightning whips. Maybe instead of like wings, maybe they're actually just two separate like lightning whips that float behind her while she's still using her sword.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
So
I don't even want to imagine. It's gonna be so random when we get it. It's gonna be a needle or something, you know?
Yeah. So someone in my chat brought up the removing debuffs from allies. What do you guys think about that? Like in terms of like for balance purposes.
I kind of like it. I need to see how hard or easy it is, but the idea, because did they mention all debuffs or slow? I thought it was just slows.
They only specifically said slows, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's all it's gonna be.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I think removing slows are toxic anyway. So I think having a class that removes slows from the team are pretty fun. Now I do think post rework slows haven't felt as miserable, although partly because. I think that's partly because
iframe them all in your Kuno.
No. I think I think it's partly because you die so fast you don't get time to notice the slows.
That's true. I can actually agree to that.
But or maybe people are just kind of swapped off slow debuffs and swapped to damage instead. I don't know. There's something about slows that haven't felt as miserable.
My TOS that my time of suffering is very short nowadays with the rework. So,
yeah, I just wonder, like, because I also think, like, it's fine, but maybe we can just try to fix debuffs instead of giving a class an ability to just remove them. I don't know. It feels like, but it feels kind of like a cop-out way of trying to, like, deal with something.
Couldn't you make that argument in every game, then? Like, all cleanses are just a cop-out?
Yeah.
But why?
How is cleanse a cop out? That's strategy oriented, like because you can't just waste it. You got to save it for. In most cases, I think the difference for like something like cleanse in I don't know, in other games is like you have a trinity in that, right? So like your cleanses are usually going to be on like a healer of some sort to like put a cleanse onto somebody else. So it makes more sense in the sense of a trinity. It doesn't really make a lot of sense in this game where every class is supposed to be entirely self-sufficient.
I don't know. Did Blade and Soul have any cleanses?
I actually can't remember. Never played
it. I mean, a lot of classes have their own kind of perks that make them really strong and special. You know, like this just happens to be hers. One of hers, at least. But I don't know. We gotta wait to see it in action to see if it's like truly really strong or not. If it's like
I mean a lot of this is just
based
off of like what they've announced, right? We haven't tested it. We don't know.
If a cleanse is like on a 15-second cooldown or something like that, it's probably not going to be a big deal. At least from a 1v1 standpoint. Now, on large scale, it could be pretty impactful. But if it's shorter cooldown than that, it could start being pretty strong in a 1v1 type scenario, considering how powerful slows are.
Yeah. What about the HP thing? Does anyone have a recap of the rules on the HP thing? It said like if you're below a certain amount of health, that you can get HP recovery.
I didn't get a screenshot of that, so I don't know the details on that.
Also, are we thinking this is DR or evasion?
DR.
Probably DR.
You think so?
Yeah.
So it
didn't look like she was dodging shit from that Guardian.
I actually missed that. So it has set passive basically, where you get below a certain HP and you get a bunch of health regen.
Yeah. So Cosmic Cube is saying, I think he's saying it right. It's if you're below 50% health, you get health back on charged abilities or whatever. Like I don't know what is it?
So it's just worse Guardian passive then?
I don't know. I don't know how much the healing is. I mean, Guardian passive is what, 100 HP with one-handed and 200 HP whenever you use the two-handed skill. So I guess it depends how much. I guess it depends how much you heal. I don't know. And also, does it keep healing you beyond 50%, or is it just once you're at 50% again, the healing stops?
Right.
Oh yeah, and it has a that was it. God, I don't have the text of it. How did they describe the self PA? The self PA thing sounded very much like infinite fortitude to me.
I don't know. I missed that part.
Yeah, there was something about Emertat saying so it's like a bubble.
Oh, it's shy bubble?
Specifically for her?
I think. I don't know if it affects allies or not.
Like any more fucking PA effects in this game.
It's only self. Yeah. Self PA, I guess. I think
so. She's meant to be a tank then, with her greatsword, essentially.
I don't know. Tank might be a strong word. There's nothing really about her that looked that tanky.
At least a damage absorber to some extent.
Yeah. 50% DR. Self PA. Where I think she's stuck in an animation or something. I don't know if they showed it.
50% DR? Well, then that confirms she's most definitely a DR class.
Does that?
I mean, I know evasion plus DR hybrid builds are strong.
Mystic also gets like 40% DR though, and they're an evasion class with their infinite fortitude.
Oh yeah, that's right. They do have that, don't they?
Emertat said they showed it. Let me show you the link. Okay, yeah, send it. The SA charge up class, you'll need evasion to live long enough to do damage. Eh. Tell that to Valks.
I would if they would stop 100%ing me.
True.
I still don't understand why we have to nerf Zerkers 100 into the ground, but we're gonna leave Valkyrie alone. Okay.
Kano says, will she be DR or should I start selling my gear?
To be fair, Riz, I'm not getting 3-shot by a Valkyrie.
Okay, then let me rephrase that. I don't understand why we have to put Tamers 100% in the dirt, but Valkyrie gets to keep theirs.
That one's fair.
It's all they have.
They literally crushed every single 100% in the game except for Valkyries. I don't understand it.
I still get one shot by Tamer 100% though. I guess maybe people with higher gear live that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. The annoying thing is there's nothing you can do about the Valkyrie ult. Once you get suctioned and you see that animation, it's like if you don't have V, you're just fucked. It's frustrating.
My gear lit, true. I think Emertat said he's gonna link a video. Here we go. Timestamped it. Let me see what this looks like. Here, I'll stream it here. It's a similar type of protective barrier. Oh, okay, here, yeah, she uses it. So she slams the ground, a bubble pops up, and she has... Okay, you can see on her buff bar. She has like a DR buff on her bar. It seems to last for a second or two after. It's so blurry, I can't tell how long it says.
So it's a fairly short duration.
Increase your damage reduction rate by 50%. No, it's not 999 DR. It's 50%, they said.
이런 컨셉의 기술이고요. 실제로 이 기술을 사용하면 일정 시간 피해 감소율이 50%나 상승하기 때문에 필사적으로 전투를 이어가는 드라카니아의 특징과 굉장히 잘 어울리는 그런 기술입니다.
호신강기.
Oh, another class that beats Guardian.
아, 스킬의 이름이 용의 비늘이니까.
What do you mean? Guardian clapped Drakania in that fucking cinematic. And the Guardian didn't even have its offhand, by the way. That's how broken that class is.
Yeah, it didn't even need a shield, and it did kind of win.
It didn't even need a shield, and it clamped Drakania's
Did it really,
cheeks.
though? Who had the final attack at the end there, you know? Like, it kind of alludes to the fact that she won.
Yeah, it alludes to it. You don't know what happened there. What happened right there is the Drakania was like, I got her right where I want her, and then the Guardian used its 2-second iframe to just dodge the attack real fast. Finish her off.
It's like a 4-second iframe.
True.
Dude, the alt complaint thing, now we got people complaining about Kuno alt.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You have an iframe and massive AoE damage on Kuno's BSR.
Kuno's ult is strong. It's definitely not Valkyrie ult,
no,
but it is really strong.
It's definitely dictating node wars and changing the fights like Valk's ult. I agree. I agree. Same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so let's see. They spent a lot of time on Questline Revamp, but only for Balanos Questline.
Yeah, which is weird. Like, don't people fly through that in literally 30 minutes? Or less?
I think it's, yeah, I'm pretty sure if Balanos is all the way up to Red Nose and then you're out of Balanos, I'm pretty sure that's like 30 minutes of questing. Maybe for a new player a little bit longer, but they spent a significant amount of time talking about the Balanos questline.
Everton like, I was happy about that video. I literally reinstalled the game for the new class so he can roll off this Guardian.
I know, he told me that at first he told me he was going to tag it, and then he said, fuck it, I'm using coupons.
Wait, why would he need to? They gave us free coupons. They gave us weapon coupons and shit. And Marnie fuel and stuff like that. He can do whatever the hell he wants now.
Yeah, so new questline. Well, yeah, that's the other point too. You're gonna have the option to start in the winter area, right? So are people even gonna be doing this questline?
I'm sure some people will.
Or maybe you have to go back and do it later on. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know. Actually, yeah, I don't know how that works. Do you have to go back and do the Balanos stuff later on to get completion on it? Okay, so let's see. They talked about the new monster zone changes, incoming adjustments for Elvio Realm. So this was fascinating to me. I wish I could remember off the top. They said they're nerfing orcs, right? Like slightly, something to do with the lights.
Yes.
I think I blanked. What was the nerf exactly?
I think I blinked. It was that brief.
I blanked. No, because I was just sitting there thinking about. I don't even know what I was thinking about.
Well, as far as I understand it, they plan on bringing down orcs and buffing the other Elvia spots to get in line with orcs. That's my understanding. The takeaway from it is what I got.
No, they said something about limiting weapon spawns to 30 minutes. That is true, but I don't know how that was going to work.
Ew, well, no, so limiting weapon spawns to 30 minutes?
Something like awful. That, yeah.
No. So the weapon spawn thing was that there. So couple changes. First change, you can't steal weapons anymore.
Can't steal weapons.
Change number 2, the drop rate of weapons is going way up through the roof.
Everywhere else except for orcs, yeah.
Change number 3. After your weapon is up, it's going to have a 10-minute cooldown where you can't have another weapon.
Right.
So basically, you're going to have so many weapon drops that only you can pick up that you can have 100% weapon uptime. But because of the cooldown, you're only going to have it up for 50% of the time.
That is a nerf. That is definitely a nerf, mostly to orcs, because that's the only place, unless you're crazy RNG creator, like... Nyashi, you grind at Bloody a lot. How often do you have 100% uptime on weapons at Bloody Monastery?
Very rarely.
It's rare.
Orcs is so far more.
Yeah, that is definitely a nerf to orcs. Yeah. Which is good. Having 100% uptime on weapons at orcs is crazy.
Yeah. And it happens all too often.
Maybe, does Baragi... I'm trying to think if any other place has 100% uptime on weapons besides orcs.
Baragi is pretty good. I don't know about 100%, but Baragi is pretty good uptime. I don't know about 100.
Fogans is trash uptime.
Yeah, Fogans is awful. Nagas is awful. Imps is okay. Castle Ruins is pretty good. Again, I don't think any of these are 100%, but
yeah, I don't think they're buffing anything to orc level. They're not changing any of the loot in any of the other spots, and the 10-minute debuff is also going to apply everywhere, right? So
yes,
some of the spots will be better. I don't think they'll be like orcs. Like, you got to remember, like, when you have 100% uptime on a weapon at orcs, when you have like tent buff, you're fully buffed up church villas, you have your loot scroll, maybe even a J scroll or like 50% drop buff, like, it is crazy money. And it scales harder and harder when you get a weapon, just because now having a weapon basically guarantees you're going to get another weapon.
Yeah. So I do want to point out that they did kind of say a catch-all at the beginning of that by just saying, like, we're going to be balancing the Elvia zones. So Lord knows what that means. That's a very vague, like, catch-all that could mean anything. So just kind of keep that in mind as well.
I know, but everyone keeps saying they're making it up to orc level, and that's not what they said. I definitely watched that part.
I mean, that was the takeaway I got too from.
But they're nerfing orcs, so it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I know I did say that they planned on bringing orcs down. I just didn't remember how. But yeah, if it's a spirits, then yeah, that makes sense.
My issue is, since they are increasing weapon drops everywhere, my only real issue, I mean, that's a good thing, that's cool. My only real issue is that, like, what happens to all the non-Elvia spots, right? Like, let's just say, for example, most Elvia spots are somewhere between 350 and 550 mil an hour right now, except for Orcs and Bloody, where Bloody is kind of like, I don't know, maybe 600 to 800, and then Orcs is 700 to a bill, right? Let's say Orcs gets brought down, now it's 700, and let's say everything else gets brought up and everything is around 700 mil an hour if you have, like, really good hours. Why would you ever go anywhere besides Elvia?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't think you understand. That's what they're asking as well. Why do players keep going anywhere other than Elvia? We need to get them back in Elvia.
True. I don't understand. Mechanized is saying it's not so much a nerf. I don't know how you think making it so you can only have 30 minutes of weapons is not a huge nerf to orcs. That is definitely a nerf.
It is a big.
That is a huge. I way more often than not have far more than 30 minutes of my hour with a weapon at orcs on a Kuno. And, like, Kuno's not the absolute best grind class. Like, Lons and these other classes have way more. And I'm not even, like, particularly great at grinding it. It is definitely a nerf to orcs, being limited to 30 minutes of weapons. Is it a big enough nerf? I don't know, but it is a significant nerf. If you're cutting weapon time down in half, you grind so much slower without a weapon, unless you're
wouldn't that just make Bloody better then? Because of the rare drop chance?
Yes, except that you're still limited to 30 minutes everywhere. That applies everywhere.
Yeah, but it just means it gives more opportunity for the gap to close, because orcs, a lot of its money is coming strictly from the trash and BMC drops, right?
Not BMC drops anymore, but the trash.
Well, originally, yeah. But yeah, it's more just the trash nowadays.
Yeah, it's all the trash, the sellable stuff.
So if your trash isn't going to be as high, but then you still have zones like Bloody that have a special drop via Lunar Necklace and whatnot. I mean, kind of feel like that kind of really helps close that gap, if not let Bloody, for example, potentially pass it.
Yeah, no, for sure it could. The problem with Bloody is I feel like there's two meta rotations or one really good rotation. So it's like way more contested.
There's for players that actually know how to grind the zone, there's 2 spots, and then for the randos that come in and think that there's like 5 spots in there, there's that.
They also announced new Calpheon Elvia Realm monster zones. I believe the only ones we know for sure that are coming are the Anti-Troll Fortification and Star's End. And then on top of that,
but they included screenshots of the mining area and the chimeras.
Oh, did they? I missed the chimeras in the mining area.
Scroll down. They include pictures, and they said new Calpheon Elvia Realm monster zones.
Okay. Oh, this is the... Oh, man, this spot's so annoying because all the fences and stuff, though.
The chimera? Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hope the mobs are reorganized. Although I'm into grinding.
But hold on. Didn't they also say something about, like, they were actually redesigning the area or something? I have, like, some vague memory
I remember them saying something like that. I don't remember.
That they were actually, like, redesigning it or something.
Yeah, Star's End they announced at the last ball, remember? Or maybe it was... They definitely talked about Star's End Elvia. Yeah, the last ball, it was even Star's End for Calpheon Elvia or whatever. They talked about it before. So if there's 5 places, one of them is this mine, one of them is Chimera, one's Trolls, one's Star's End. We don't know what the last one is. I'm kind of disappointed it's these two spots, to be honest. I don't know. Like, Chimeras is kind of cool. This mine area is kind of dumb. I was hoping it'd be like Ogres or the Cyclopses. Could be kind of cool.
A lot of people have been
like if they made the
theorizing Rudums as well.
Yeah. If they made the Cyclopses kind of similar to like how they did Gyphins, that'd be pretty cool.
I want like a solo Olun spot. Maybe that's what the troll spot will be.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because they said with Calpheon, there's gonna be 12 grind spots total in Elvia. So there's seven. There's 7 right now and 5 in Calpheon. All right. So, and then they talked about the server thing where you're gonna have potentially 1 hour of grind time for personal monster zone. You're also going to be able to go to normal, either normal or Elvia on every channel. I'm really curious how that is going to function. I don't know when that's coming though. So there will be just way more Elvia spots available to everybody, which I think is a good thing. I don't know. It never made sense to me that there's like 7 Elvia channels. And for some places like SEA or SA, it's like they only have like 2 or 3.
Is it really that bad over there?
Oh yeah, Najil's right. Hex was mentioned with a 340 AP requirement. That sounds awful.
Oof.
Resdar will be there in no time. All right, so that's the Elvia stuff. The quality of life improvements, specialized inventory for artifacts and lightstones, thank God. Although that's not all they need to do. They need to change the way you interact with the NPC to exchange for lightstones. It feels terrible. It is so tedious and so much extra work and time to exchange your basic lightstones for a lightstone that actually has stats. It's so much time. And I'm sitting there like trying to count, like, oh shit, like how many times do I have this because I don't want to grab extra quests for no reason. It is really, really an annoying system. I hate it very much.
Yeah, they also need to look into. They also need to look into artifacts, like the drop rate, because I'm pretty sure it's bugged. Because goddamn.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But
what the fuck?
Not to backtrack, but on the previous topic, SA player mentioned that they have 4 Elvia channels, with one of them being the Archer channel.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
That's bad.
That's so
really
crazy.
Bad.
In NA, we have, let's see, 4, 8, 12. We have 16.
Yeah, we have an okay amount, but yeah,
including Archer, we have 16. So it'll be nice. I don't know. The limit never made sense to me. And it only felt worse since Orcs was the best spot in the game, and it wasn't even close.
Everyone isolates there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, going to Orcs. Yep, there's not only is someone in the spot.
50 people.
Not only is there someone in the spot, but there's also 10 people in line on the bridge waiting.
In line.
Yep. How long? 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 Yeah.
Wait, when they start coming up to you on the bridge, are you in line?
Yeah, it's like, are you grinding here? It's like, no, but those 2 people are, but they're kind of fighting for it. So I'm just sitting here watching to see what happens.
And then I'll challenge the guy that wins.
I have literally, and this happened at Starzen too, when Starzen was at its peak, but I've seen this happen at Starzen and Orcs, where I'm in the grind spot and I see people say duel for spot. And they're fighting. They don't even own it. Yeah, they're fighting each other over the spot that I'm in.
I've seen it too. It's so fucking
where I'm like,
funny.
I'm here. It's like, they're like, good fights, good fights. Dude comes up like, wait, are you here? And they're like, yeah. It's like, well, I just won a duel for spot. It's like, but not with the person that was in the spot.
Yeah.
Man.
I've had that situation happen. It's so fucking funny. You're just like, what is transpiring right now? You see them fighting on the road, and then they come down to where you're grinding. You're just like, hello?
Yeah. All right, so yeah, specialized inventory for artifacts and lightstones. That's nice. Hopefully they change the exchange. Let me do multiple exchanges quickly, similar to like what they did with the fairies. Or give me a button that just says, do you want to exchange all your... God, what is the name of these? When they haven't been turned into anything yet.
Oh, the unidentified or the imperfect ones.
Yeah. Do you want to exchange all your imperfect light stones for something like here's the total amount of gold bars you need or whatever? Let me just do it all at once because that interface is goddamn awful. The next one is they said processing stone item unification. So that'll be kind of nice. So you don't have to have multiple processing stones. I guess. I'm not really sure how they'll stack or how they'll use, but not having to swap between them and all that stuff will be really cool. And then they also said, I'll get to the pet looting improvements, but let me do this last one. Specialized inventory for life skill tools. That will also be cool. To be honest, I almost wish there was a different gear thing. Like if I press I and look at my equipment screen, I kind of wish there was just a separate tab that was all life skill stuff and it was just all equipped all the time and not something you have to swap between. Just all of your life skill gear on all the time. Your axe, your tranquilizer dart, your Manos riding crop, everything. Just let it all be kind of in one separate life skill wheel. Would be really cool. Yeah, hopefully that's what they're doing. I don't know. They're saying inventory, but I don't know if that means like just a place to hold it separate from this inventory or your actual equipment screen. Because they didn't say equipment screen. They just said inventory. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do that. That'll be cool. That'd be nice. All right, pet looting. They said tier 5 pet will be obtainable only through silver. Oh, they did say people are... How? Rez was... I must have been just completely tired. Or mad.
So what now?
Or mad.
I missed a lot.
Or bored.
You were asleep. I was tired that night, dude. It was fucking killing me. I was definitely drinking. I was a few wines deep.
Yeah.
But I was also so tired, man. Like by the end of it, I was getting exhausted. Okay, so in the Q&A section, apparently they said it will all be equipped. Not just an inventory. So that's good. Pet looting. This one I do remember. It said tier 5 pet will be obtainable through silver. It'll probably be really expensive. And that what the tier 5 pet does is improve the speed of all of your other pets. And I'm trying to remember. What I don't remember is if it improves the speed of only tier 4 pets or all pets.
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics, but yeah.
I mean, whatever the case, it'll be nice if you... The thing is I get there's this issue of like, well, if the pets are looting faster, you're going to make more money, and grinding is already the best money, and this and that. But the thing is like, there's something that just feels bad. Even if they like nerfed grind spots mathematically to make it so the pet looting... Behind? Yeah, just looking at your loot be left behind feels bad. It just feels like you're leaving stuff on the ground.
Yep.
Is the tier 5 also loot or just the 4? I assume the pet itself would also loot, but I don't know. They also said that they're going to change... They said they're going to change the way the pets loot / follow the player. And then it's going to prioritize going towards loot more than following the player and then going towards loot or something like that.
I'll see. Someone in my chat saying that there were moments and times during the Calpheon ball where you were just quiet for 10 minutes straight. Were you sleeping?
No, it wasn't. I wasn't sleeping, but I was contemplating I was a little bit bummed out, I guess. Yeah.
We need the Lost Ark looting system.
I was trying to set my expectations really low, and I do think everything they announced was cool stuff. There was part of me that was like, man, in the back of I tried not to fall for it, but there was part of me that was like, there's no way they'd release this unless they have something like really big to announce. So I think I got in my head and like I let myself believe that, even though I tried to fight against it. And then I was like, yeah, they don't actually have... I mean, the class is cool. I always love like new classes. Everyone knows that. I love playing new classes. But I just thought like, maybe there's like, holy shit, they've been working on something and they got it done. And now we're going to have something cool. But there wasn't anything big. It was everything was good. I don't want to sound like a spoiled brat. There was a lot of cool stuff. It's just, I don't even know what. Maybe it was like Ultra Blood. Like, here's a cool new tower defense, or the Tower of the Deep Sea, like one of those things that got announced a long time ago. Maybe it's actually done. And none of that stuff is, so.
You might as well just forget those things ever happened in announcements. I mean, I kind of, when we were talking about, like, what do we think, like a few weeks back or whatever, however long ago, you know, what do we kind of anticipate them talking about? I was kind of hoping that they had a smaller, you know, announcement list of like projects that they're working on, because I wanted them to improve on what they have. So in a way, I'm kind of glad it was a little on the boring side, because maybe they'll focus on the stuff we have a little bit more. But I do know that they need to have more content for players to, you know, keep progressing, or, you know, keep interested for the existing players.
Well, they had a moment where they pat themselves on the back for constantly constantly updating existing content. What was that moment? Do you guys remember? Chat, I know you remember. There was a moment where they were like, "Yeah, we do a really good job."
Yeah. I remembered being so like mind-boggled that they were saying that.
Was it just during the audio?
I think it was.
And the Questline thing. I think it was the audio and the
audio.
quest. It was the audio and the Balanos quest revamp.
It was the quest line. That's what it was. It was the Balanos quest line thing that the guy like. So this is all scripted, right? So it's none of it is genuine or anything. So it's literally PA, like it's the meme of Obama giving Obama the medal. Basically, it's PA making this guy say, "Oh, you guys do a really good job of updating existing content instead of just pumping out new content." And it was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It was pretty funny.
It was kind of funny. And that was like, that would have gone great with a release of Ultra Blood and Savage Rift revamps or something, maybe, you know, then I'd be like, yeah, no, you guys are doing that. You know, you recently buffed Valencia. Let me look at the bingo board, all right?
Oh, the bingo board.
Yeah,
no, don't look at the bingo board.
Let me look at the bingo board real quick.
No, not
so
the
you
bingo
can kind of see. New RBF
Dude,
map.
like, nobody got bingo. Nobody.
Yeah. We need to play reverse bingo. So let's see if I get bingo on this board of things they didn't announce. All right, new RBF map. We get a space. New light stones with specific class skill modifiers. We get a space. Costume task force. That one, they did mention costumes. I'll leave that one open. Node Wars Siege Change reworks. Check that off. Dragon Class combat trailer. We had it. Future Class teaser. Post Dragon Class. We didn't get that. J-Hammer we did. Trading rework wasn't touched. Terror of the Deep Sea wasn't touched. New boat skins. They did announce that. Savage Rift or Ultra Blood. We got our free space. Calpheon Hadum was. Next dungeon biome not announced. New mounts. It was just boat skins, right? Not actual new boats.
I think it was just boat skins.
Boat skins. So no new mounts. Camadrigan reworks not announced. Reno Solaire not mentioned at all. New treasure item nothing. Class non-combat passives not touched. Extremely apologetic. They weren't even apologetic. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not giving them credit for being extremely apologetic.
No, they were cocky. They were cocky.
They were a little bit on the cocky side.
They were the opposite of apologetic. They were like, we've done such a good job. Like
mention working hard on class balance. Nope. New season day. They briefly mentioned new season. They didn't really mention new changes, but we'll give them that. There was no actual new region mention, and Fallen God boots or gloves were not mentioned at all. So surprisingly, I only got bingo on one line here, but a lot of these spaces are filled.
Yeah, which is a big yikes.
Yeah. And some of this stuff doesn't seem that crazy. Like, they talked about the trading thing like a year ago. And the Terror of the Deep Sea a year ago. Maybe even more than a year ago at this point. The next dungeon biome, like, what? Are they still doing the dungeon stuff? Or is that over? Because I still think, I disagree with what a lot of people think. I actually think they did a good job with the dungeons, and I would love another one. I would love a reward rework for the easier versions of the dungeon. But I think the dungeons are pretty good, and I would love more of those. I don't know, some of this other stuff, like Arena Solaire, that's free. Arena Solaire is free content in your presentation. This is free.
They should have fucking mentioned it.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed that they didn't.
You could cut out. Do I do them? Yes, I do them. In fact, I was only 200 I was only 200 of the item away from being able to buy reroll coupons. That's how much I've done the dungeons. But I caved and bought like 3,000 memory fragments instead.
Actually, not a bad deal.
But yes, I do the dungeons. The deep sea one, the Sikrakia, I do a little bit less than the other one, mostly because it's harder to find a group of people that can actually do it. But yes, I do.
On hard mode? I actually haven't done the new one at all because that was during the time period. It came out during the time period that I was taking a break from the game.
Anyway, so yeah, there was a lot of stuff. That's why I think I was looking at my bingo board with only 3 check marks that night. And I was having a moment of silence. I was really like contemplating and thinking in my head, like, I think that they
4 years of my life.
I think they need to wait. I think they need to wait until Christmas or until December to have another ball. I hope they don't do one during the summer. I really do.
I just think they need to announce projects, get them done, and then do announcements for new content.
No, not. Why announce I don't understand the announce projects thing.
Well, no, it's stuff that they have like that's pretty close to being done. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Announce
like stuff we don't know about, then all of a sudden, hey, we'll have this released in like 2 months, kind of thing. That's what I mean by projects. Sorry. Yeah. They do have a habit of actually saying projects that are just brainstorms, rather than actual like projects they've already like invested a lot of time and effort into.
So I'll give them this on a positive note. All of this stuff seems fairly reasonable, like they'll be able to get this out over the next month or 2. Nothing here is too crazy at all. Here's the winter outfit. All class preview.
A little video for the winter outfit coming out.
It looks okay. It's spring already, but it looks okay. This is Sage's new outfit.
This isn't for our winter. It's for the Mountain of Eternal Winter.
It's spring already. So
it's not spring on the Mountain of Eternal Winter. That's the point.
The Sage outfit looks pretty cool, although it also still kind of looks similar to the one they already have, but it's a little bit less Spartan-y to me, so I kind of like it.
Aside from the helmet, I literally can't tell the difference, in all honesty.
The Hash outfit looks cool. I don't know why his belly has to show. I'm not into that part of it, but the outfit looks pretty cool. I don't know if I'm in love with the helmet. It reminds me of that stupid class in League of Legends that I hate, that hops over walls and shit.
Oh, Talon?
Yeah, stupid Talon, dude. I don't want to play as Talon on my Hash. Or maybe Azir. Is it Azir? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Is it Talon or Azir?
Oh, Azir is
another one, but
Azir is the bird brain that uses sand soldiers.
Which one has the bird hat?
That's Azir.
Okay, yeah, Azir. That's what I'm thinking. I don't want this bird hat. The Zerker outfit looks badass. Zerkers always get the best outfits. Stupid class.
They really do.
Yeah, this outfit looks really cool on Zerker, man. The Shy outfit, I don't know. It's insulting, I would say.
Our peers rejoice.
It's an insulting outfit. I mean, it's kitty music with it as well, fitting. It's for Dokkaebi. It literally just is. It's so fucking weird. I don't know. I'll never understand it. I'm sorry, guys. And that, okay. Skins, boat skins. These skins look pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think some of these boat skins look nuts. This one with the unicorn on the end of it. Just the T9 horse. Here, wait. Let's go through each of these because it has a pretty big image. Yeah, that one has the unicorn. This one has like a. This one has Argos on the end of it. This one is just a dragon. This one has like an eagle or a firebird. Yeah, these look pretty cool. Jax is probably the only one who's buying these, but that's all right. Jax is going to be happy, and I think that's good. Jax deserves a moment. Jax finally got buffs. Maybe these boats, like with these boat skins, it'll make the boat big enough to put your DK figurine inside. They look pretty cool though. I'm not gonna lie. They look really nice. Are they all they're not is the actual boat itself the same? It's only like the edge and the back that's different? Like the dragon? Is the actual boat shape identical on all these boats? The boat has changed. Let me see if I could see another. Like am I crazy or these two look the same? They're only like a little bit different. It's like almost like more like a color scheme change. You don't like the little boathouse thing on the back? That's the guest house, so you could bring someone along that could sleep in there. Yeah, so that was that. They did their live Q&A. Elixirs. This is really nice, by the way. Elixirs cooldown nice, gonna change to 1 second. So when you go to Crypt or Olun Valley, you're not sitting there trying to time your elixirs, all annoying, and opening your inventory and waiting. You just pop them all at once. That's gonna be really nice. Artifact durability. People are complaining that their artifacts were breaking in PvP and PvE, so they're just artifacts won't have durability anymore. They just removed it.
Must be nice to even have artifacts.
Yeah, imagine having relevant artifacts.
All right.
Not me.
Crazy to have that kind of problem.
They're going to let you change the time of day while taking screenshots. This one was weird to me. There's going to be ownerless horses as a transport method for new adventurers.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
so there's gonna be horses just out in the
world
for that don't belong to anyone, but they're also
right?
Not tameable, and you can use them for a certain duration of time.
Yeah, that's for the new players, right? That's what that was primarily for.
Yeah. And then they gave us a bunch of rewards. They gave us a set of reroll coupons and finally understand that a lot of people have 2 offhands and gave us 2 sub-weapon coupons.
Yeah, that was actually pretty surprising. I'm surprised they actually took the effort to actually think about that.
They gave us
although I do love how on this write-up they have it backwards. They have weapon exchange coupon box and then show the sub-weapon exchange coupon, and then the sub-weapon exchange coupon and show the box.
Really? I don't see it. Mine doesn't look like that.
Oh, they don't?
Mine shows like it says weapon exchange coupon box X1.
Sorry. The words are underneath it. Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought it was above it.
Yeah, I was like,
my bad. I was reading it backwards.
Oh, okay, I was like, am I looking at this wrong? I'm so confused.
No, I was the one looking at it wrong.
Yeah, Artisan Blessing, special journey box. I forget what's in there. 2,000 crons, 150 stack.
That's a lot of crons.
That is a lot of crons. Also, and I went and looked this up. This says it in the page somewhere. Where is this? Marnie's fuel consumption will be reduced by 50% based on the announcement of the Calpheon episode 2. The update will be on April 13th. So a week after the class comes out, which is kind of irritating, but fine. So a week after Drakania comes out, the Marnie fuel cost will be reduced by 50%, but they did give us 500 free Marnie's unstable fuel, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah, that is quite a bit.
I do love how they had this little graph here that shows like how much people were tagging during the event. And it's like, I'd also love to see player count, because I have a feeling it would also follow this quite nicely, in all honesty.
Daily average 1,000 tags. Half of those are Lorenz. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, man. And it's just like constantly going back between one class and back to Ranger, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't had as much fun in a long time as I had during the tag event.
Yeah,
like
it was fun.
Me and a bunch of my guildmates literally were making a game where we would all tag the same class and go like into RBF and like try and do whatever we could.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool that you guys were able to do something fun out of it.
Yeah, it's just fun. And then it would be like, oh, I want to try out Awakened Sage. And it's like, ugh, man, Awakened Sage feels awful. Let me go try Suck Guardian. It's like, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun times.
My tag cost right now is 7.6 bill. So this is going to be cut in half, which is still a lot, but way, way better than 7.6 bill.
That's going to be huge.
Let us tag EXP, please. That would be kind of interesting. That would be interesting. Anyway, so that's kind of it. That's all the stuff. We got a lot of rewards. We got our Jay's hammer. What'd you guys do with your hammer? Have you used it?
For, you know, I basically threw it in the trash because that's about what happened with it. I smacked my. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just smacked my Tet Blackstar main hand for like the 5th or 6th time, specifically with J hammers. Didn't go, and then I blew all the crowns that they gave us on fucking Fallen God try attempts. Didn't go either. So, is what it is.
I haven't even redeemed mine yet because of that issue I told y'all about, I think, before we started recording with the redeeming. So I still have to redeem mine. I don't know what I'm going to use it on. I'm probably going to use it on Try Fallen God, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. What's a good fail stack for Try Fallen God?
Try?
Yeah.
The closer to 200, the better.
I have a 200 something. Is that too much?
200 something? What's the something?
Fuck, man, I don't remember.
If it's low, 200 is like, 210. Yeah, it's probably fine. Probably might be considered a little much by some player standards because some people hit it with like at 150 or below, but it's very highly recommended to do it higher to like 190, 180 range. Maybe a little bit of 200 to 210 at the most, maybe.
Yeah, I have 202. Should I maybe try and save that for a Tet attempt then?
No, that's not big enough for Tet.
I have to 200, 202, 202 might be decent enough for Tet. Honestly.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, because I think it's I mean it becomes basically like going for Pen Blackstar at that point, right? I don't know. I'm trying to think. What is the average stack people use for Tet? Yeah, 200. Same rate as Pen Blackstar. Yeah, so 200. I mean, I guess 240 maybe you'd want to do. Yeah, 200 is 8% chance for Tet.
Oh, really? It's that high?
Yeah. I need to do I need to finish season because I need to get this 135 stack. My plan is I don't know what I'm going to use the hammer on. Probably a Tet attempt, honestly, but I just don't have a really high stack to do it. So I'm going to try to boost that 150 to 180 and then try Libresca on that. And then we'll see what happens after that. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe not.
So I should probably try to push. I have a 114. I should push that up to around 150 for try and save the 200 for Tet, maybe?
If you can. I highly recommend, because try can still be a nightmare, and you basically have to cron it. So I would push it up to like 180 if you could, honestly. That's like a safer. I know it's not that much of a difference, but every little bit helps when you're working with tiny chances, you know?
True.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll update you guys on if it goes or not. Hint, it won't.
to give you an example, I think I've tapped my Blackstar armor 4 times at 161. So no luck yet.
Oh, we got a free 150 from the ball?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to build up my stacks a little bit. It sucks because I'm going to try to go for try, but the thing is I kind of need a Tet if I want to be over 401 with the 2 Pendons.
Drop 2 below.
And I really want to be.
So wait, are you like 297 or some shit? 290.
So I am currently 395 DP with Nuver and 2 Pendons, but if I once I get try Fallen God helmet, I'll be 298. So to hit 401, I'd need a Tet of one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have a high stack. Like right now, like that 150 is my highest.
Bitch to get.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of nice to get a stack up to like, I don't know, 210, 215.
Because those clicks are not cheap. Like, hell, even trying cheap. I can't even imagine what it's going to cost you for TED attempts.
Well, TED attempts are, I mean, it's cheaper than Black Star, and I already experienced that. It's like 1,000 crons cheaper. I think it's 2,600, right, for TED, to Chrono TED, maybe. Yeah, if you did the journal, like Monker's saying, Rez, just Valk up the 150. If you did your journal, that's not a horrible stack. If you did the journal for the extra Valk Scry, you Valk up the 150. So you probably have +2 stacks, right, based on all your journals, like at base.
Yeah.
So it's 152, and then if you did the journal, you get to Valks it 13 times. So you'd have a 165, which isn't bad. That's not that bad.
+1 13 times.
Yeah, there's a journal that let us Valks 3 additional times max.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
When did that come?
Yeah, I might look into that.
That one's fucking old. Like that is like 6 or 7 months ago.
Which journal? Because I've done all the journals.
Apparently not. Let's see. Let me pull up the Adventure Log bookshelf. Anyone remember what that journal is called? Is it Pavina Greco? No, that's the HP. Book 4. Herald, Book 4. Yeah, Herald, Book 4.
Herald.
That's what it is. Herald, Book 4.
Oh, I haven't done Herald.
When did that come out? I'm pretty sure Herald Book 4 was like... It might have been right around the time New World came out.
Yeah, then I would have not known about it.
Yeah, September, October. You were busy swimming in New World.
Hell yeah. The best swimming. Yeah, because I'd done book 1, 2, and 3. I didn't do 4.
Did you ever finish the Zarka 5 weeks thing?
Yeah, I did that a long time ago. Yeah, that's old. Wait, why can't I click book 2? Yeah, book 2's done. Book 3's done. Yeah, it's just I haven't done book 4, so that's I didn't know I was missing it. Okay,
yeah, one of these other ones gave us that. Damn, so we got 3,000 crons yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, if you did the other thing where you go and meet the the wish child.
A lot of loyalties too. Are you guys looking forward to the winter region?
I am, just for, you know, trying it out and whatnot. But from what I understand and heard from KR players, isn't it basically like you do what you need there and then you leave?
Yeah, probably. I think it's a very Dregan-esque type place. I
hope, very unfortunate.
I hope they rebalance it a little bit and make sure that it's actually like worth being there. But
yeah,
I have zero faith that they'll do that. So I don't know.
But
it is sad. I mean, they did mention something about balancing grind spots in general, I think.
I don't remember anything specific about just overall general grind spots, but yeah, they might have. I just remember specifically the Elvia spot talk where they wanted to even out.
But then they mentioned, oh yeah. No, they started off with they're going to start balancing grind spots and keep a close eye, and then they dove into detail about buffing Elvia. So
I wonder how they're keeping a close eye. Look, like what are they basing these metrics on?
I don't know, dude. Garmalt.com. Look, the thing is
they're outsourcing.
The thing is like I won't hate it as much if there's 12 good Elvia grind spots, like they're all like somewhat viable.
Yeah.
And then maybe you could still do, you know, Oluns and Gyfin. Then it'll feel like there's a variety. It's just right now it feels like Orcs, Olun, or Gyfin, and that's kind of it. And everywhere else you're a little bit less efficient or way less efficient. So hopefully it feels better than that. And Elvia is ugly. Also, that was the other thing. Was the weather stuff they talked about, they showed like sunlight in Elvia. Is that only going to be in Calpheon, or is the current Elvia also going to let me have sunlight? I wasn't 100% clear on that.
Said they were going to do it on both.
Is it on both?
I can't be certain that they are going to do it on both.
God, I hope it's on both, man. I hate the green hues so much.
It is pretty like don't know, daunting on your grind, like, because it just makes you feel, I don't know, tired. For me, it just makes me tired.
They mentioned it multiple times. They actually mentioned that Elvia gave people a bad vibe a long time ago and said that they were going to remove it or change the green to something.
Never did anything.
And they never did. God, I hope they do, man. I still hate it.
Well, then they remembered like how much they care about their player base. They're like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I think that's it. Rez, you want to do comments?
Yeah, you want me to? I can. I'm trying to figure out how this new in the rework for Archer, they added a whole new like way of moving. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is and how it works. It's kind of weird. Oh, it's shift. Okay. How interesting. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta relearn how to like skate now. I completely forgot how to skate properly. All right, you want me to do comments?
Yep. I'm gonna pull them up here. 1 sec.
All right, give me a second. I gotta pull them up too. Oh shit. If I could type properly, that would help greatly.
Arena of Solar equalized. It's a good episode. I'm sure people are mad.
Probably.
Who
isn't mad?
Someone said, "Can you bring on Neptunes and talk about the drama with him and Shaky Bay?" That is not what our show is.
We're not doing that. Like we addressed my little shindig with him the previous week. This is not going to be the dumping ground of that kind of shit. Honestly, I honestly didn't even want to humor it last week, just because I didn't feel it was podcast appropriate. But we talked about it, and I was fine with it.
But I brought all his plans to ruin.
Rezlar brought all my plans to ruin. Yeah, it's just this is not a drama dumping ground.
Yeah. Maybe if it becomes a bigger community-wide issue, we'll have to have a discussion. But as of now, it's just like a dispute between two people. I don't know.
Three people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. There's probably a podcast about it in the
Blader. Shit with him was squashed last week.
Probably in the Blader Discord. There's some videos about it.
All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
All right. Mylan says, "Any plans of editing out the ear rape out of the intro?" Yes. I'm gonna fix that. I already replied to them and said yeah. Sergio Farfen says, "Around 55 minutes when you guys talked about the whole pre-made stuff, Here's the Storm allows a full 5-man pre-made to go up against solo queue players, and rank definitely drove me off that game."
By the way, Rez, I wanted to meet you somewhere in the middle on this.
Oh Christ! Can we not do this again, please?
No, we have to. I think you'll. I think you'll kind of like this idea. I was talking with Sammy about it, and other games do this to help mitigate the issue. There's a couple things that you could do. I think that would be kind of interesting. That could make it work. All right. So imagine in the BDO 3v3 queue, you could queue with one other person, right? So 2 people. You could party up with one other person and do the 3v3 queue. But when you're in that queue, for example, if I were to be, let's say you get matched against another team that's all platinum and you and your team is all platinum. Because you queued as a duo, instead of gaining 20 points for a win, you'd only gain like 18 or 17, and the opponent, instead of losing whatever it would be, 15, would instead only lose 12 if they solo queued. So it would be less of a hit on them if they had to go against a pair, and less of a gain for you, but you would be able to pair up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that just because I don't really care about ranks. I just want to play with my friends, but I know that's going to make other people angry.
I don't know.
I just want to be able I literally just want to be able to do Arena Solaire with my friends. So like anything that gets me there, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, I think that people would be able to stomach that, and even if you solo queued and got against pairs, like it might be kind of tilting, but knowing, all right, I'm not going to lose as much, or I might gain more MMR than I normally would if I overcome this, would kind of be like nice. It'd be a nice little middle ground.
But my question would be, why is it only one person though? Why can't you just do a full team and then it like triples the effects of whatever?
Well, then your chances of winning just become extremely low.
Exponentially low. Yeah. You need at least one shitter to be on the
you need one shitter on the team to ruin it for them, basically.
Yeah. even it out.
Yeah, but then couldn't you just make it to where if you have a team of solos versus a team of 3 and the team of 3 wins, they gain like 1 point and the enemy team loses 0 points or something?
But it's like, why even bother then at that point?
Because I'd like to play with my friends.
But you also just said you don't care about ranks, so we should
just
have
an entirely different
bracket that's like FFA. You know, it's no rank, no nothing. You can do whatever you want in there.
Yeah, Nyashi, did you miss the whole argument last week?
Yeah, and I agreed with you. But at the same time, like from a development standpoint,
we already discussed all the negatives of there being a full pre-made team last week. That's why those are the reasons why.
Yeah, and as far as a development standpoint, I agreed with you. I just think that they're gonna opt for just doing one initially, just to see how it goes.
Right. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah, that'll be a long-winded discussion again.
Salvation
reliving last week.
Salvation says, did PA not also announce swappable crystal sets at some point? This gear swapping window would be the perfect opportunity to introduce this to the main game.
They did mention it in one of their dev note things. It wasn't necessarily at an event. They did one of those, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was one of those late night dev talk things. And one of the topics was they're considering crystal presets. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I think that would be good.
Here we are. Lebo, however, says, like the end of season Pearl idea, maybe a couple bills as well, depending on your rank, would be great. Seeing how PA would never get out insane number of pearls as a reward. Yeah, I think the pearl at the end of season thing is a good idea, but I don't think they're gonna do it. I just something in my cold heart tells me that they're not interested in giving out money for free.
Cold heart.
If you're a grandmaster, and let's say grandmaster is the top 50. Each of those players get 11,900 pearls.
It's a very specific number.
Whatever it costs when you pay $100, that amount of pearls. That would be nuts. That would be really cool. Can't wait.
Anon says, PA made the correct choice of equalized gear and ranked. I'm going to try it when it comes out, but if TTK is too low, I'll stop playing again. I don't care about the silver per hour, but I do want a new icon. A new icon
for what?
Oh, like a above your head, like if you're top 5, whatever. I bet.
Like this is my rank on the server.
Yeah. Like the RBF or the trading level or wealth or whatever there is.
Gotcha. He wants a dick swing reward or badge.
Lincoln Johnson says, hate to say it, but I agree with Nyashi point of view on playing the game.
I hate to say it. Why do you hate to say it?
We all hate to see it. I feel like Frosty is just being too critical of Worlds and not listening to what Nyashi's point was. There's a massive difference between playing intermittently playing the game and playing in full-time play. While it does feel like riding a bike when coming back after a week/month break, there's something to gain dedicating all your time to one game and not 3 games, Lost Ark / New World.
Look, I am getting sick and tired of people saying I'm not listening to what they're saying. I
didn't say it.
No, I know. It's just like I am listening.
I said that last week.
When you disagree or you argue with someone does not mean you did not listen to them. Having a counterpoint does not mean you did not hear what they said. And yes, there is a difference between those things, and thus I said it should be clarified. That's why. Because, like you said, there is a massive difference between playing intermittently, playing full-time, and not playing at all. That's all I was saying, which is like you basically agree with me. You just forgot to add in the last part, not playing at all. You left that out for convenient reason. And yes, maybe I was being too critical. I'm just saying, like, if someone said it to me, and I'm like, but I know you played, then yeah, I'd be like, why even say that? It doesn't make me look bad. It's the opposite. At least that's how I see it. Anyway, that's all. Moving on.
Moving on. Triconics says Arena seems great now with gear and how they said they're going to be a few maps. Let's talk about rewards. My suggestion is do like Choice said, that you go on a main character with gear adapted to the gear score you have, but I'd be down with it just being 300 mil an hour regardless of the gear, and people would still do it. It's not amazing per in-game player standard, but it's something. While Lubies have a choice between Silver and Arena for the same money, good enough for me. On how we make Silver for Arena, I'd suggest that out of that 300 mil, we get 150 mil in gold bars, 150 mil in seals that we can exchange for base accessories, enhanced materials, Caphras, draughts, perfumes, or instead 150 mil in materials, 100 mil in gold bars or less. So let's say you're able to play 10 rounds per hour, you win roughly 5, you get 10 mil per win, 5 mil per loss in gold bars itself, and you get 7 seals for win, 3 seals for loss, roughly 50 seals per hour. Then let's say you exchange 100 seals for Disto, 50 seals for 50 Caphras, 30 seals for Ogre, 50 seals for 100 mil gold bars, and so on. That's just an example. I need to actually check market to double check values, but having a range of items to select from, I suppose even if prices change, some items would be bad to take and some would be good, but in general it would allow us to choose shit in case everything drops down. We can just choose more silver, which would bump price of accessories back anyway. And then in parentheses saying that's assuming 300 mil, saying it could be done with any scalable amount by gear, 100, 200, 500, whatever. Half the worth could be in some seals that could be exchanged for marketable items and not raw silver.
Look, I don't hate to be that guy. Now I'm just going to relish in it. We can use Lost Ark as a great example of this. They gave us the ranked arenas this week, and when you go to the vendor, you can look at all the different items you get, and different ones, you have more access to different things depending on your ranking and your level. You can get enhancement materials, you can get mounts, you can get cosmetics, you can get titles, and then at the end of the season, separately from all of that, you also, if you end up like in Grandmaster, for example, you'll get 5,000 crystals you can spend in the Mari store to buy items and buy things that normally would cost money. You also get a temporary weapon skin and a title and a mount and a bunch more of the seals, which is kind of what he's saying, that you'd use to exchange for items in the shop. You get a big boost of them. So that would work perfectly. And then someone in chat is asking, I still don't understand why in equalized arenas people think they should make silver, and it's like, because in a lot of games you can get materials and progression out of it. Whether it's super efficient or not, you can still get something out of it. And the PvP, it's not that efficient in Lost Ark. It's okay, but it's not bad. It's like you're already doing it for fun, and then you get a bunch of extra materials. It's just like the silver in BDO is such a it's so small in like RBF, for example, compared to what it should be.
Yeah. And also it's like that kind of comment, they kind of make it sound like you're having fun, so you shouldn't be rewarded. You should be doing work, have your job of grinding in order to be, getting your gains and whatnot. This is, as a reminder, a game. Everything we're doing here is in some capacity to have fun.
Exactly. So your reward is fun, not money, Nyashi.
But are you having fun doing circles? I can attest that I don't. But
yeah, that's the only and that's all that matters.
Gaining, any sort of like progress.
Listen, that is integral to the core experience of Black Desert Online. Okay.
Yeah,
I just think we can't have people making money while having fun. Not allowed.
I think people forget that an MMO is a game. It shouldn't be a job.
I don't get why every time we have this discussion, you guys have to make me feel bad for enjoying grinding.
Well, I mean,
I'm not alone.
You like self-torture because you were grinding on Kuno for the longest time, for years, being one of the worst grind classes. So it's hard to really use your definition of fun as a benchmark here.
Shadow stomping mobs is fun. Period.
It's a fun. Yep. So I don't know. That's my viewpoint on it, I guess.
Russ, next one.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking to someone in chat. The Fangs says I watched the last episode before Chapters was out. I guess I'll wait next time. I don't know what Chapters means. Timestamps, maybe.
YouTube's timestamps, they turn into chapters.
Oh, I see.
Wait, how do you get those?
I don't know. I don't know how that happens.
You want me to? It's really easy. It's literally just the timestamps, but you have to make sure you do the 0001 at the beginning. It literally automatically does it. Yeah, it literally automatically does it.
Oh,
okay. I'll look into it to try and make sure that it does. Because
I can help you just in case.
I like 80% of the time I put the timestamps in the description, and then the 20% that I don't, usually someone else will do it in the comments.
Yeah.
So you can usually go down there and click on the timestamps to see exactly when we start and stop talking about certain things. But yeah, I'll see if I can look into that whole chapters thing so that maybe it's a little more obvious for the people who watch on YouTube, like where exactly discussion on certain things begin and end.
Yeah, Nash has it in his videos.
Yeah, well, no, it's only I only did it on my guide that I recently did because most of my videos are just me like fighting or not really doing anything that needs chapters. So my guide,
BMing a fellow blader. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, those two. There's no chapters necessary. It's just the full content right there.
Aaron says people know the Nyashi spot.
That is very true.
Yes, they do.
Some people have died there.
A lot of
people have died there, actually.
A lot of people have died at the Nyashi spot.
As a matter of fact, it took more lives than any other location in the arena, I think.
Very true. Droopy Turtle 98 says if they want arena to be popular, just toss in rewards and voila. Make it to where people get a minimum of 100 mil.
I read that as when I first read this comment, I read in just toss in rewards and viola, and I was like, that's weird. That's a random instrument to have to throw in there.
Viola?
The viola.
Oh my lord. Make it to where people get a minimum of 100 mil silver an hour, add in rewards for winning maybe a box, has a chance to reward rare material or even accessories. People would come to it in troves. Also add a vendor like Destiny 2. At certain ranks you get a reward like crons and other stuff useful for upgrading. As your rank goes up you get rare and rare materials, but you lock it to a season, so once you get that max rank you gotta wait for rank rewards to reset. I'm assuming it's giving me the ... but not the read more. Frosty, do you have the read more?
Ranked rewards like crons and other stuff useful for upgrading, and as your rank goes up you get more rarer and rarer materials, but you lock it to a season, so once you get max rank you gotta wait for ranked rewards to reset at the start of a new season.
Okay. Yeah, I was missing that last bit. I don't know why YouTube does that to me every once in a while.
Oh, you got that like half loaded.
It's truncated bullshit for no reason.
Yeah, it gives me the ... like there's a button that says read more, but the read more button doesn't exist. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dreadspark says, I feel BDO could use diversity, and I hope you all agree. Thus, to celebrate the recent re-release of the Permanent Alpaca and the anniversary of the release of Dream Donkey, I encourage everyone to celebrate by riding their donkey or alpaca on April 1st to show our appreciation for this content. I wish you all the best of luck and tons of fun as we approach the release of the new winter, now spring expansion, and look forward to our future adventures together as BDO players.
See, it is
Afterthought,
spring.
parentheses, forewarning, this is going to be a tone shift and I have a very productive migraine.
Uh-oh.
You
know what? We are literally one day off from the podcast being on April 1st.
Why does Dreadspark always make me argue with Shies? Here we go, Rez.
Here we go. To those who say, quote, stop wasting time in alpacas. So let me rephrase that to Frosty. If you truly believe that joke mounts like the alpaca, which is for the most part our copy pasta with a few animation being tacked on for skills, quote unquote, is keeping content from arriving on time, then you should stop speaking because you sound stupid and ignorant. If you want more in a quarter or year, then don't lower your expectations, raise them. I get that you do not enjoy this content, but it is content and it adds life to the game by simply existing. Expect more, ask for more, and do not buy into the excuses that PA cannot deliver. They have had every opportunity to expand their team and increase production. Quality is a standard to abide, and yet PA has found a way to hang themselves on it by delivering nothing instead. I did not want to be rude about this, but quite frankly, somebody needs to be rude and call it for what it is.
All right, can we stop
Would you like to respond? Or should I continue?
Okay, first of all, Dreadspark, you're misunderstanding the direction of the anger that people have when they say stop making alpacas and give us real content. No one actually cares if alpacas are being added to the game. That is fine. The problem people have is there is a long list of complaints that people have, and the priorities seem to be off when instead of the art team adding more costumes that people have asked for, the art team is instead creating an alpaca. Or instead of the art team or the design team or the UI team fixing bugs or UI elements that are issues or problems or quality life stuff, it seems resources are instead being spent on the alpacas. Now, yes, I agree. Adding all of this stuff adds more life to the game, and it would be totally cool in a nutshell if other things weren't delayed. And you can't say, even if people weren't directing their anger towards that, which I believe they were, and thus I don't agree that you should be mad at them for being mad at PA for not producing more stuff, because their expectations are high. I think that that's just a general misunderstanding by you. But I also think it is stupid and ignorant to call people stupid and ignorant for thinking that alpacas are taking up development time from other things, because all development of everything in the game ceased to exist for 6 months for balance purposes. So the only thing we can conclude from that is that they actually take all of their team off of stuff to put it on other stuff. Yes, they shouldn't do that, but that is the experience that we have over the last 6 to 8 months. So it is totally fair for when everyone's sitting here like, oh man, we're going to get some cool new stuff at this ball, and they show an alpaca mount, which by the way, has no actual benefit outside of it being cute and fun. It doesn't like make the gameplay easier. It doesn't improve your game. It doesn't make the Shy more powerful or better or make Shy more into a class that could defend itself in a grind spot. It's purely cosmetic, and it did take development time, and people are wondering why that's being added to the game instead of a bunch of stuff that needs to be fixed. For example, Shies. That's all it is. You can't be mad. If you're going to be mad at people, it just doesn't make any sense. The people are mad for the reason you're telling them to be mad. Like you're saying, expect more. They do expect more. That's why they're confused that we're getting alpacas and not all of the stuff that they promised. That's why people are upset. All right, go on, Wrestler.
All right, paragraph 2. I know PA is not an amateur, so I just don't understand how they continuously make these amateur mistakes which hurt their authenticity as a competent gaming company. I have no pity for them and expect better. That being said, I do love BDO and am very thankful for the content they release. But for the sake of all the idiots, we need more content. We need quote-unquote localization to end. If PA needs more translators, developers, design architects, then hire them and train them to meet quality standards, which frankly have been low of late considering the content death rate. I'm honestly astonished that T10 Horses, parentheses, Dine and Doom. Is it Dine? How do you pronounce that? Is it Dine?
Yeah, I guess. Dine.
Dine?
I just say Dine. It's easier.
T10 Horses have not entirely been scrapped, and it's a good example of everything that is wrong with the production cycle. PA has had years to have addressed the causes of this issue. No more excuses. Expand or flounder as you exhaust your team. Perhaps I am wrong and the team is plenty big enough, but in that case, God help you, because I cannot even begin to express how bad that would be. The alpaca is adorable though, isn't it? Step off, haters. P.S. Dream Donkey already made content. Win.
Dreadspark, do you not see the irony in saying that the alpacas are good content, keeps the game alive, and then also saying that you're astonished that they haven't scrapped production of Danae and Doom, etc., etc.? Is there not a little bit of hypocrisy there? I mean, there's some people that actually like super love what those are. So I'm very confused. So we should scrap the T10 Dream Horses, but definitely leave the alpacas. All right. Got it. Yeah, I think your anger is directed at the wrong people, man. I think people complaining about alpacas is more a message of, hey, man, there's a bunch of stuff getting fixed. How is this stuff not getting fixed? Why are you announcing alpacas? Not, oh, alpacas should not be in our game. You're misunderstanding their anger. Their anger is due to their expectation of something better because they know how big PA is, how much money PA is, and how large their development team is. And like in the past, they've done like a lot of stuff at once, and now it seems they've completely slowed down. So yeah, I just think that your anger is it's not towards Shies. It's more towards why are we not getting any of the stuff you promised, and why is the alpaca coming out? Why are we not getting costumes every week? If you don't think that artists work on multiple things like mounts and costumes, etc., I mean, isn't that ignorant and stupid? Like, if their artists are not working on costumes but working on other stuff, I mean, that's time and resources being lost. Yeah, it's not, again, just in closing, it's not that people don't want the alpaca in the game. The alpacas are fine. No one's actually mad that alpacas are going to be put into games. No one has a problem with alpacas. They have a problem with content not being released, and then there's a whole list of things that shouldn't be top priorities being added to the game that aren't helping fix the gigantic plethora of issues that we have. There's also people that are mad that non-shies can't ride alpacas. But that's another topic for another day.
I think we just need to call a spade a spade. I think Frosty's just upset that we don't have the snowboard yet, you know? Where's snowboard development at, you know? That's all I'm saying. That's the important content that's really going to save the game, you know?
Mm-hmm. Where is it? Well, our snowboard's coming on April 6th, right?
Hopefully. They better. Otherwise, this game's dead. JJ Carver. Oh boy, we have a partying with your friends comment. I can't wait. JJ Carver says, other games do in fact let you party with your friends when it comes to ranked PvP. They typically prioritize those teams to go against other pre-made teams. And when there's not enough pre-made teams, you go against everyone else. The problem is that you get to those teams who power level their rankings at odd hours of the night when you have lesser probability to run into other pre-made teams, inflating their ranks. There's no excuse why BDO can't do an unranked and ranked team PvP game mode. If it's player count issue, find a way to increase the player base like other MMOs who are rebuilding and making their games enticing again. Make those modes worth it and not a waste of time. If only 10 to 20% of the player base wants to PvP, make them strongly consider it. BDO has enough players playing the game. Even if you give out participation trophies, you solve your 10 to 20% issue.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those things are not wrong. We agree. We would love for all that to happen.
Murderkind says, I agree with Nyashi. Neptunes is the greatest Meiwa of all time. I couldn't have said it better. Unfortunately, I think Nyashi had to step away to take a call, but I'm sure he would 100% agree with that statement. The Awkward Ninja says, I watched the VOD on Sunday, so forgive me, but I wrote these comments down to post when Rez got the YouTube video up. Number 1 of 4, for the record. For example of why having multiple variations of the same game mode, just looking at the MOBA space in general, it is why Paragon died, why Smite has killed off several game modes since release, and why LoL has killed off a few game modes, why most games are very restrictive with ranked queues. Alright, hold on, let's back up for a second. Nyashi, I'd just like to read this comment again. Murderkind says, I agree with Nyashi. Neptunes is the greatest Meiwa of all time, couldn't have said it better. Your response?
Wait, when did I say that?
That's toxic. All right.
That's very toxic. What the hell, man?
Well, I'm just asking when they thought I said that, because I don't recall ever saying that.
Sounds like that's all you were saying last week.
But yeah, I'm pretty confident that was the whole point of your whole tirade.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, I guess, you know? It is what it is.
Alright, going back to Awkward Ninja's comment. 2, although there is market for group queues tend to cannibalize solo queuing. As much as I would love to be optimistic based on discussion on Reddit, obviously not the best place to look, and the forums, it seems like the 3v3 ranked PvP is not nearly as popular as you guys think it might be, but to be fair, the Value Pack community is quite PvP focused, so obviously everyone thinks it will be great, in parentheses, and I agree. Even Reslar saying he will only play it if he can group queue proves that it will unfortunately niche compared to if the game launched with it, for example. But as much as I can respect how Rez wants to play the game, he is in the minority according to the stats from other games. The reality is that the stats from how other games have handled ranked games shows that solo queue gets the most people as a single queue option, and allowing parties to queue into solos or separate queue from solo eats into the total pool of players if there isn't enough to keep both queues relatively quick. Number 3. PA is going to have to pull out the stomps, decent silver income, ad campaigns, decent silver income. Did I mention decent silver income? IMO if it's going to avoid becoming ranked GVGs. Did anyone actually do this but like 1 or 2 guilds once on NA? Did anyone on the podcast even try this back when it came out in 2019? Team Battle or Garmarth RBF 2.0? But all these dead PvP modes definitely would be why PA would be hesitant to try, parentheses, not that it was their fault. Not that it wasn't their fault for making modes too niche / weird. 4, Tomo synchronicity thing would be awesome to see in other capped areas since it would let some variation in gearing, unlocking options with ranked that are side upgrades maybe, would make it kind of like COD or Battlefield in a way.
So, I mean, in regards to them being apprehensive to do stuff because of previous PvP related content, I mean, I gotta go back to what you said last week, Resler. I think is what you said last week. Maybe it was the week before. But basically, like, you know, if they don't make it fun, then naturally people aren't gonna, you know, play it. Like, it just is what it is. Like, that's not. And both of you actually, I didn't mean it the way, but you guys jumped on me for saying it the way I did. But basically, it's suggesting like that it's the player's fault for.
Right.
You know, content not being good. It's not how I intended it, but that's basically how you guys interpreted it. But yeah, that kind of thing. Like that's kind of like the same thing he's suggesting in that comment too. So yeah, I gotta obviously, you know, mention that what you guys mentioned last week. Basically the same thing. Like it's up to them to make it fun, and the byproduct of that is players will play it. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't want to get into a discussion all over again. So
yeah,
I'll just say
Garmoth was made poorly. Team Battles is made poorly, and that's why people don't play it. Not because people don't want a PvP. Yeah, for sure.
But
yeah,
and also because it's not worth doing. I mean, even if it was made poorly, if it was worth doing, you'd probably have some people doing it.
Yeah, they'd reluctantly, but they would probably do it.
Really, you need both. You need it to be worth doing and to be made properly and like actually fun and engaging. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. I disagree with some of this, but I'm not gonna bring it all up all over again. Whatever. People can call me retarded for disagreeing. That's fine. Dylan Sandgren says on February 6, 2020, we reduced the number of monsters in Black Desert by about 40% to provide a better gameplay experience. Instead, the monsters' respawn time was significantly cut down to maintain the growth momentum or hunting efficiency of our adventurers. However, numerous adventurers have given us feedbacks that they want the same playing environment as their Black Desert PC counterparts, and thus we worked on improving the overall performance, optimizing memory, etc., to reflect their opinion. After all the hard work, the recent tests we have conducted showed that we provide the same version as Black Desert to PC. We would like to extend our gratitude to all who have given us precious opinions, and we will continue to strive to improve performance and optimization of the game. Soon after, we lost the option to do Altar of Blood and RBF.
Oh no, dude.
I would like to take this opportunity and moment to say I finally got a melee accuracy artifact.
Hey, your congrats, brother.
My first one. I need one more. But I got it at Star's End within 1 hour.
Hell yeah, man.
And I got a disto.
Remy says Neptunes is the Jesse Smollett of BDO. Literally gets clapped by fresh season grads. He's a clout seeker whose only superpower is that every time he opens his mouth, he gets farmed off server.
Oh no.
Remy is not happy with Neptunes.
Remy is not a fan of Neptunes. Nor is the person who liked that. That comment has one like. It's probably Nyashi, actually. Nyashi, did you like this comment?
Not even look at the comments.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Nyashi. It's definitely Nyashi's like.
Why would I like it? I squashed my.
Nyashi's like, that's a good comment. I like that comment.
Oh my god.
If it wasn't you, it was a Musa.
Yeah, it was a certain Musa. Silver Zico says, let's go, no more lost shit in my favorite podcast. And for the Arena of Solaire, I don't care if it's equalized gear or not. If I can play with my friends, my biggest problem is it needs to have distinct rewards, but not 700 mil an hour, but 200 to 300 mil will be acceptable.
You got
how much?
Why are you hating on Lost Ark so much? What does people say? Is it just the competition? Is it like the threat of their favorite game kind of thing?
Yeah. That's 100% what it is. Yeah.
I can understand being like, yeah, it's not for me. I don't understand being like, dude, fuck that shit ass game. It's just
it's literally just
maybe I can.
It's literally just a fucking like, I don't know. It's a group thing, right? It's a tribalism thing.
To be fair,
this is my group and my group is better than your group, so fuck you. Like
people like have been watching the podcast with us, and it's always been video content, so I understand.
No, I get that. Yeah, I get that. That's why I said we
just don't want to taint it with some, Lost Ark shit, That's just how they feel.
I mean, at least it's not New World, am I right?
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Although you can't swim in this game either.
Ort City says at 23:29, what if the gear is with progression, like you gather some points, and when you get to a threshold or enough points, you can invest them into an upgrade, either temporary, like the next 2 to 3 matches, or permanent? That sounds kind of interesting to me. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think just make it equalize. We don't need any this sounds like exactly the type of like fancy fun mechanics that PA was acting like they were going to add in that everyone was terrified of.
Yeah.
No, we don't just give us the equalize gear arena. We'll be pretty happy with that, honestly. Bloodwolf says, if there is, quote, queue with friends mixed in with the random team queue, then I want a 1v1 mode to ignore that stuff. The other problem is that some regions have even less players, so you have all these modes and multiple queues. These servers will wait hours at non-peak times. At least in a 1v1 queue, you only need 2 people to queue, not 6. At Nyashi, 2 hours online a day is playing. I've been doing it for years. It's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Are we getting into any of that? I feel like we're kind of like not really delving too much in the previous discussions.
I thought Nyashi was gonna say something about 2 hours online a day is playing, but regarding the I think that's I think that's a weird like card to pull. Like, oh well, there's not a lot of players on SA, so we can't have the game mode that we could have on NA. That's a weird way to put it, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That says, what if PA specifically put off the balance changes after the rework to get the arena out as soon as possible so they have more data to balance around? I mean, if they came out and said that, that would be something at least.
Look, Daz, I would love to feel that way. I'm the resident White Knight here. Right? I want to feel how you just said, but I cannot. Is there really not enough data to address Zerker a little bit? Are we still no. Let's wait till arenas, because Zerker might get farmed in the arenas. Come on. How much more data do you need to know that Flash Slash might be a little bit crazy? Do we really need the ranked arenas? Be like, oh yeah, okay, all the Kunos are at the top. All right, let's change it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like, I don't think you need that much data. I think you need a lot of data to do changes across all the classes, but do you need it to adjust the things that are really bothering people every single day? I don't think so. I mean, Pax just said, and I disagree with Pax, but I was streaming the Node War we had the other day, and he was saying he thinks that the Suck Zerker, again, I disagree with this premise, but there are people that feel this way, and if they don't feel this way, they feel close to it. He said he feels the Suck Zerker meta is more oppressive than the Suck Wiz Witch meta. And again,
you're out of your fucking mind.
I disagree. No, I'm saying I disagree, but people are that frustrated with it because it dictates your shot calls, it dictates the way engagements work. In high-end PvP right now, like Suck Zerkers are dictating the fights.
100%.
It's really that bad?
It's really bad.
Yikes.
Yeah, large-scale PvP is not in a good place right now, mostly due to Succession Berserker.
Yeah.
And then secondarily, just range damage in general is also quite high. Yeah. That being said, no, that is a bad take. Yeah, that is not a good take.
I think it depends on the class you play because everyone's experience is different. But as I don't know. For me, the Witch Wiz meta felt way, way, way worse. But it's even still that it doesn't feel good. So I get it. And that kind of thing, like, you don't need to wait for Arena to address that a little bit, do you? I don't think so. I don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't think. I also don't think, like, Suck Zerker in like 1v1s is like, it's strong, but it's not oppressive. It's just oppressive in Node Wars. Like truly, truly oppressive. So I don't know. I think Suck Zerker is strong in 3v3s. I don't think it's oppressive. So if you try to balance around the arena, it's just not gonna really change the state of large scale, which is where it's really a problem, unfortunately.
It is actually really oppressive in 1v1 these days, but it's neither here nor there. We could
you
have
think
that.
so?
It's pretty fucking crazy. I think as a suck Kuno, I can like manage, but if you're not a suck Kuno, I think a lot of classes fucking struggle to deal with that class right now. But separately, I just want to throw in one more example. Do we need to wait for arenas to fix the fucking tamer pet bugs? Do we? Do we really need the arenas to be like, oh, you mean Void Lightning's not CCing at all? Oh, okay. All right. Well, the arenas showed that. Thanks. Grats, we got that.
Yeah. Corinne Naoka says, good, glad to know they finally listen. Just please make it so people have to actually combo instead of just SA trading and one-shotting. They should make some cosmetic rewards too, end of season rewards. I don't know if they already made this, but they should make a rank board for each class to show which person is the best on each class, as well as their win rate, both total win rate and maybe winning a 1v3. I doubt this is possible, but it would be nice to see who would be the best and have the best overall performance. And they should, in the future, add a 1v1 arena or something like Lost Arks. Also, in regard to having geared arenas, I understand why people want it, but like, do people want other people to see that they have to rely on gear to be ranked higher? Like with a geared ladder, you're just going to have 700 gear score people at the top. It doesn't exactly mean they're actually good at the game, so I think arenas should just be equalized. To balance that out and make it so the gear matters, they should make better PvE spots that actually need that gear. It's almost like saying in a game like Valorant, just because someone has played longer, they get to buy an an op with 0 credit and have aimbot. Like, it's not going to be competitive. The whole point of competition is to show who's the best by pure skill alone, and the fact that someone chose to spend time running in circles for hours versus someone who spent hours in BA should show in the arena. Maybe it's just a gear that's speaking, but I've had to fight multiple people in the open world who have 80 more gear score than me, and I would have beaten them on normal gear, but I get trash talk because I'm not able to, quote, kill them. I don't know, to make any competitive game mode, it needs to be equalized all around. HP should also be capped IMO. Gear doesn't make a player better. The time people grinded in PvE shouldn't affect their performance in arenas at all, unless they want to be labeled as gear carried.
I don't know why. I was with them for most of this stuff, except I don't understand why.
HP cap.
If we have equalized gear, why are we HP capping anybody?
Mm-hmm.
If we all get to choose from the same gear set, why are we HP capping in the arenas? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you would have that option, so that would.
Yeah, that would never.
Sense.
That is just like that's just like, oh, and by the way, some of the classes that don't get tankiness from DR or evasion should be less tanky by having less HP as well.
Yep. That's weird.
Yeah, and if journals affect the in-game thing, then just make it so when you're in the arena, it's like everyone has the journals. I mean, that's how you fix that. You don't put an HP cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, some classes have more HP, and they're designed that way on purpose. Like, that doesn't mean they should have. Why should everyone have the same HP as Kuno? What, like,
dude,
Zerker?
Can I do my T1 rant, please? Since we're talking about capping HP.
Yeah, sure.
It makes absolutely no sense to me that HP is capped at 5,000 and then it gets reduced by an extra 500 like every 30 minutes or whatever, because a lot of classes don't even hit 5,000, and it's like it's literally just cucking the classes like Berserker that are like well over 5,000 just naturally without having any HP crystals or anything like that. And it HP is our main defense mechanism, and it gets reduced as we go throughout the lore. I don't know, it's just weird. Like,
yeah,
I would understand it if it was also like, hey, we're also reducing your DR and evasion every 30 minutes or something like that. Because then it's like all defense stats are being reduced every 30 minutes, but instead it's just HP, which is Berserker's main defense.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, kind of annoying.
Okay, well, a couple things. One, it's fun. Mavella said Bear still has 4,200 HP in 2022. That's funny. He really does. Okay, everyone that's saying cucking Zerker, oh no, anyways, or poor Zerkers. First of all, these caps existed before Suck Zerker was insane. So it's not like yes, it does cuck Zerkers. That doesn't mean the Zerker isn't in a strong state, but the HP thing should not be how you balance Zerkers. Zerkers aren't. Yeah, I don't know. The caps are weird. Like the caps, I don't know how you fix tier 1. I actually think you do away with the tier 1, tier 2 caps entirely, or rather the tier 1 caps entirely, and let us just use this new gear set that arenas have. I actually think that would be way more fun. Let everyone choose their gear set through that window, through the ranked PvP gear set, and let everyone go to Node War on that. That would be infinitely more fun than the caps.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I really hope that I hope that comes to like all capped content, because I think that would be really good, actually.
Yeah. And then you don't have to have weird ass like varying rules.
Chimeras, Rosar offhands, like
yeah, all that, or weird rules, just weird rules that they add to every game mode. Like you can kind of keep it more universal.
Yeah, like the last 2 weeks we've done T1s, and it's so funny, like trying to like relearn, like, okay, what's going on now? Like, what's the new rules that we have to do? Okay, so Kaya necklace is back. It wasn't back before for some reason, but now it's back. Still using the chimeras. Okay, now the special evasion is capped, so you actually should take out your special attack evasion crystals and put in siege attack evasion crystals, because for some reason things like flame towers and elephants obliterate on T1s. It's like all these like silly things that you have to like go out and learn. It's like so goofy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea that like, because like Zerker is strong, you can't like fix something that is a problem. It's it's a weird take. It's like, well, you're saying buff Zerker. I'm like, no, I'm saying balance it. Like, yeah, nerf the problems that are like problems, and then also fix the things that are problems. Like, it's called balancing. There's two sides. I don't know. It's weird, but it's just the mouse movement thing all over again. Wherever I was saying in that mouse movement isn't what's making Zerker super oppressive right now, and everyone was being super mad at me because I am defending Berserker, which is strong, and it's like, yeah, but if you make this change, it's still going to be strong. I don't like what.
Well,
you're just like,
I do think,
I don't know. It's so weird.
The caps sort of resolve themselves if you remove mouse movement. Am I right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, the thing that really makes Suck Zerker OP is mouse movement. Like, what? It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyways, Serium says, whenever you make the Lost Ark podcast, please mention it on this podcast.
Will do. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do it. There's nothing set in stone yet, but I'll let you know.
Sanira says, Rezlar isn't the brightest human, huh? Never claimed to be. Juan Dima Sheik?
In Texas, maybe.
I don't think so. I have a fairly average...
Top 10?
I have a fairly average intelligence. I'm not particularly smart.
Would you say fairly average based on, like, worldwide? Because then I would say in Texas, probably, you're up there then.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. And across the South, I'm basically a genius, because like once you incorporate like Florida into this pool, it's like, cool.
Yeah, it really just sets a curve. It really does.
Yeah.
If you're grading on a curve, including Florida, yeah, he actually is one of the brightest humans, Sanira. All right.
Yeah. Juan Dimashik, I'm gonna pronounce it. I apologize. Says Frosty arguing with Rezlar and Nayashe is peak content. For real though, I think Equalized Gear should not be in Node War / SW.
Siege War, maybe?
Oh, Siege War. Because it's really gonna make Gear become less valuable. Gear should be the determinant of progression in open world content.
Look, here's the thing, Juan. I understand that concern, but we're only saying it should be there for the stuff that's already capped. That's all we're saying. The stuff that's uncapped, leave it uncapped. But for the sieges that are capped, I would much rather have the equalized gear usable during those. And for like the tier 1 node wars that are all capped, the equalized gear make way more sense than just having these arbitrary caps that literally piss off everyone.
Yeah, we're not saying add more capped content. We're saying change the current capped content to using this like system that they're theoretically going to be implementing to the Arena of Solaire. That's all we're saying.
Which would be great, because that would actually be a really big step moving forward.
I think so as well. I agree. Maximum Effort says, I finally did it. Episode 108 to 145 in less than 2 weeks, parentheses, I think.
Holy shit.
It was a big roller coaster of emotions going through the suck whiz changes, class reworks, stage changes, and all of the new content. As a person who is not constantly close to the game, I could say that PA has never been more active than the past year, and I have to praise them for that. I think I meant to say praise them for that. The pressure from the competition of other MMOs lately shows. I'm not sure why you assume that BDO doesn't have a big player base. According to PA's email sent to MMO by it, the game has around 500 to 700,000 players on big updates, and around twice less on normal days, quote unquote. Source MMO by video from January 2022. I really want to point out that one of the things I like most about the podcast is the effort to think/review some changes from the most neutral point possible. Yes, some bias shows from time to time, but for the most part, it works out. The only advice I would give is if someone from you guys, parentheses Frosty, I know you played Suck Nova, but doesn't show, goes and mains a shield class.
What?
Or to be more specific, yeah, you didn't play Suck Nova, did you? I mean, you messed around with it a little bit, but you didn't
Suck
play
Nova
it.
is like my third favorite class.
To be more specific, Valk, for a month, I think you showed the biggest bias and misunderstanding of the shield classes situation on that topic, so that will help in the future. Frosty, if you don't like the movement, just hold RMB plus space, parentheses, awakening. I think that's Valk advice. On Valk, hold RMB plus space in awakening.
Everyone he mentioned about classes and whatnot, he targeted the person that plays the most different classes.
Let's see. Reslar, you're a young lad with strong opinions.
Man.
I work with a lot of young fellas like you, and I know that it's hard to do and will probably happen with time, but try to be more open-minded. What? In what fucking world?
Go to an arcade, you bitch!
Damn.
Also,
You
as a
young
person who
lad,
plays
you.
games only for their PvP, I can vouch that fighting games are something that will interest you. Don't stop playing BDO, just try Street Fighter 6 on release next year. I'm sure it will fit you well. I don't like fighting games. I've played them before, not a fan. I used to play Soul Calibur back in the day on the PlayStation 2. It was mildly entertaining, not really that big of a fan. So, no thank you. Also, I don't know, but apparently I'm the closed-minded one. Okay. I don't get that at all, but sure.
3 is the most closed-minded.
What you were fighting for at the moment, in parentheses,
Wait, we're gonna skip over that?
to the game progression via PvP is something non-existing in MMO genre as far as I know. I heard a comment about Guild Wars 2 a few podcasts alone. I think I meant to put a go, but haven't checked how real that is. And any other MMO, no matter how small or big, a general game progression via PvP does not exist. You can progress your PvP gear in some games, or you can climb ladders in ranked, but in no MMO can you gear up in a way to reach any kind of endgame by strictly doing only PvP content. In your case, you shouldn't be mad at PA/BDO for not doing that. You are fighting to change the whole MMO genre. But I don't understand. So because no one's ever done it before, it's literally not allowed.
I mean,
that's a bizarre
take. You
take.
Can gain some. You can't, maybe not exclusively, but you still gain some progress in some games. People are saying in World of Warcraft. I'd have to look into World of Warcraft. I'm not really sure how the gearing works in that game. I'm pretty sure you don't get just the best gear in World of Warcraft by doing just PvP, but I don't know. Maybe some of the gear, but I don't think you can exclusively PvP and have the same gear as Asmongold. So but maybe.
I mean,
I don't know it enough.
I did play when I was younger, and this is obviously many expansions have happened since then, so I am completely and utterly out of the loop. But back when I was playing, you actually could get really strong gear from just PvPing. You get what the hell was it? Not the War Chief set. It was some one of the original PvP sets. It was pretty fucking good.
Wait, hold on. People are saying they're disagreeing and laughing. He's like, you can in World of Warcraft, but he said you can get PvP gear from PvPing, but you can't just get like the best gear in the game, like for example, for PvE by PvPing. He said that. So you can't laugh and say he's wrong, but then say, yes, you can. You can get PvP gear by doing PvP. It's like that. He said that. That was in his comment. If you listen to Resler read the whole thing.
Which I know is hard.
Wait, are you
difficult
referring to me or
no,
chat?
No. Like chat. Like everyone in chat's like, LOL, yes, you can. And wow. It's like, he said that. He said you can get PvP gear by PvPing, but you can't get like your endgame dungeon gear or your endgame PvE gear by PvPing. That's what he's saying. And in Lost Ark, you can't either, but you can still get some progress towards your gear, which is nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I also just once again would like to push back against this idea that because like WoW or Final Fantasy hasn't done something, like BDO's not allowed to do it. I mean, like why? I just don't understand. It's a weird thing.
By the way,
it's like,
yeah, I think it's okay
we're only allowed to make changes that WoW's done. Okay, sure.
It's okay. I think it's okay to be upset by it. I don't know. You should definitely. I mean, we don't. Wrestler's not playing those other games, so why is he going to waste his time being mad at all of the MMO genre? This is the game he plays. I don't know. So it's like actually a waste of time to be mad at all of the other MMO genres.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird take, I would say, but that's fine. Can BA/BDO do this change and be the first to do it with this kind of game progression? Yes, they can, but I don't think they have the balls to do it. Anyhow, this comment is already too long, so I'll stop here. Love you guys. Parentheses, Nyashi, I love you the most.
He probably AFK'd for that. Finally, he
Damn,
got,
Nyashi
yeah, he
just
said BRB another call.
Ignoring this man's right now.
BRB another call. All right, so let me address two of these things. So he says, I don't know why you don't think the player base is popular, 500k to 700k players. That number is worldwide, and we don't get to queue up with the rest of the world in our PvP ranked here in North America. EU's not going to be able to queue up with South America. EU's not going to be able to queue up with Russia or MENA or Korea. So the total overall player base isn't as important as how many people play within each region, what those queue times are like. So it's more referring to that. And then he says, I know you played Suck Nova, but doesn't show. Goes in mainish shield class. I hate this thinking. The biggest bias, and I don't think you fully understand the problem with SA blocks or why people complain about it if your response is go in mainish shield class. That was from, because he's referencing the conversation from a while back. I think prior to reworks is when we were having the discussion where people are like, it feels impossible to CC super armor block classes. And he's saying go in main a shield class and you'll get it. And it's like every time we've ever talked about it, we've always kind of conceded the fact that if you did change it, like obviously these other classes would need some other changes, right, as well. The problem is just being able to hold block. Like if you end up in like a 1v1 situation where these classes that don't have a grab are just sitting there, like hoping to God they can break your block. I mean, I guarantee you're going to see it. People are going to whine and complain during the ranked PvP about shield block classes. Like that conversation is going to come back up. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of New York 20s gangsters posting comments everywhere.
A lot of the suggestions too.
Yeah, it'll probably happen.
A lot of the suggestions to Maximum Effort were things like, hey, there should be a resource to this or a duration. Like being like the example I gave, and I don't know if Maximum Effort you remember it, is let's say for example I'm a I don't know, what's a class people don't hate? Because it's like right now, it's like everyone hates every class, so you can't even say any class other than be like, oh, that class is busted.
Tamer.
Well, that Tamer has a grab. It would have to be a non-grab class. Let's say,
non-grab that people don't hate?
Yeah, non-grab class that people don't hate.
Do people really hate on archers? I mean, archers pretty strong.
Let's say I'm a suck sage, all right? Let's say I'm a suck sage in a 1v1 with a warrior, okay? When a warrior's holding Q, what is the cost? What is the risk? What is the deterrent to warrior for holding Q forever? Because after they come out and hit you with collapse, whatever it's called, something spatial collapse, and the flow to spatial collapse, then the warrior uses one SA ability, probably grave digging, to apply the slow, and then their block is back to full. So what is the resource cost? What is the negative about, like, in that situation? That's all we're saying, is there should have been a resource or some sort of thing that is like, hey, when you're holding Q block, maybe something that encourages you to do something else, essentially. I mean, Kyriem kind of had some really, really cool ideas about it that we've gone into a million times, but that's all that was. It's not like just being like, go main a shield class for a month, then you'll get it. It's like, yeah, then I'll get when I'm in Battle Arena with that Sage, he can't do anything. I literally post rework during the tag event, I tagged my Nova. I went into Battle Arena against Alki, who's been playing Sork for 4 years. I had been playing Nova for all of about 35 minutes, and I was able to beat him 9-1. And the only reason he got that 1 kill on me was because I accidentally auto-attacked. That, like, it was absolute, and he has so much gear and so much experience on Sork. It was just a complete and utter face roll. That's why people think that the essay block is kind of absurd. Anyway, that's
You're just a god.
That's all. Everything else, the last thing, I cannot believe you watched. I don't even know how many hours that is. It has to be like 150 hours
That's
of
a
podcasts.
lot of hours.
Yeah, like 100 and something hours of podcasts in 2 weeks. You're crazy.
Yeah, that's actually insane.
Yeah, that's a fucking
That was
lot.
a feat.
Jesus Christ. All right. Zibas says, I'm glad BDO is adding this. I will get people who didn't want to play due to pay to win and endless grind to try the PvP. I'll still be playing Lost Ark as my quote main game, but it would be fun to hop on BDO and queue some arena whenever for fun since the combat is just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't play together with those people that you're gonna get to play. So
yeah. So I've been doing ranked PvP in Lost Ark because it just came out, and while it is kind of fun, it just made me want the BDO ranked arenas way more.
That's exactly my experience. I'm like, God, I can't wait till BDO comes out. It's gonna be so much fun.
Dude, I'm sorry,
and I'm just sitting there like, fuck.
Yeah,
probably won't be out for a year.
I'm sorry, man. As fun and as great as I think Lost Ark's combat actually is, it is not BDO. It's not even close.
There's a lot of fun elements to it, but yeah, it's not BDO at all. That's why I'm back on BDO.
Yeah, it's not the same. I do love the PvE stuff in Lost Ark, and now that I've like gotten to endgame, I'm kind of stopped caring about progression. And it's been easier to play BDO more, but yeah, no, the PvP is just not the same. I'm sorry. And I know Lost Ark apologists are gonna hate me for saying this, but their CC system is horrendous. I actually think it is an incredibly unfun crowd control system that they have placed in that game, and I think a lot of it is not well thought out at all. I think some of it is very poorly thought out. When I first was learning it, I thought that it was pretty cool and in depth, and I was like, that's really cool, and like when you learn this it's going to be cool, but I don't think it's good. Like I don't think it's good at all. And I would not be surprised, because they said they're going to focus on PvP this year in that game. I would not be surprised if they make significant changes to the way it works.
I mean,
that's all.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard for me to follow up a comment with that.
All right.
It's just a different take on it. Like, obviously we're used to, in a lot of senses, you don't survive a combo, or you die standing up and stuff like that, which obviously can happen in Lost Ark, but obviously the time to kill is a lot longer. However, the CC duration can sometimes feel like an eternity.
Yeah, Gold River said this game's focus is PvE, not PvP. Yet they have ranked PvP arenas with rewards, and they host tournaments all the time. The company itself hosts tournaments and pays people. So to be like, it's okay that the CC system is horrendous because they said that they don't really care that much about PvP. It's like, well, except it's in the game, and they host tournaments, and they pay people money. So yeah.
Yep.
Still should probably make it not feel as bad.
True.
All right, Vic says Equalize Gear is a massive step towards the right direction, though a ton of work still to do, making content more fun, group content /solo that's not ZZZ. Class balance from Reboot ain't bad TBH, even though Sakuno Zerk is a thing at the moment. And remember, they only got, 420 employees, says online for March 2018, with them making 4 to 5 games as well at the moment in development. Unsure how many programmers, coding, translation. Forgot to add making things worth doing at all. One of their big issue. RBF rewards, Alter Blood was fun, and getting a reboot cool. Maybe Terror of the Deep, but again, it's a question mark. They really only have 420 employees?
I don't know why that's an only.
Not a lot.
I'm the opposite. I feel like that sounds like a lot of employees.
Really?
Yeah.
420. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a lot. And I get that they're working on 4 to 5 games at the moment, but right now, how many do they have out? 2? BDO and BDO Mobile. 420 sounds like a lot.
Well, you're forgetting Shadow Arena, dude, and the large player base that's backed up.
True. I forgot the guy that they moved over to Shadow Arena. I'm pretty sure it's just Good Vibes guy that's doing Shadow Arena.
Yeah, it's just Good Vibes guy.
It's just Good Vibes guy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of employees, honestly. I mean, I know they have other projects that they're focusing on and whatnot. It's like they don't really have a client support system besides the GMs and CMs, and it's very like task focused. So I don't know. Like my company has, I think, around 500-600, and we work with medical software and stuff like that. So we do development as well as, client facing. And so we have a lot of different departments for a variety of different things.
Out of curiosity, I decided to look up how many employees Smilegate has, the developers of Lost Ark, and it's 1,200.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but okay. But even still, while that is a shitload, they have go look up Crossfire, how big that game is. They have multiple games that are huge. They do not have 1,200 people on Lost Ark. They have a lot of games. Yeah, Smilegate has a long history of games. And Crossfire is like legit one of the most popular games ever fucking made. And it's not Crossfire the board game, which I know some of you love. Do you remember that game? Crossfire! It's like that little stupid thing where you shoot the balls across when you were a kid. Fucking one of the worst game designs of all time. Isn't Crossfire the most popular game in the world? Maybe. But anyway, I still think 400 is a lot. How many people are on how many people are working on Ashes of Creation?
I don't know.
Good question.
I'm pretty sure it's less than 100 though. Trying to see how many developers are on Amazon Game Studios. Can't really find a good answer though.
You take your time. We're just gonna look at the Crossfire board.
Yeah, I don't know. I could find some stuff.
Beautiful piece of art right here.
Anyways, yeah. Moving on. Super Sean says, in regards to solo versus with friends, I have to take into account meta will form. Everyone will play the same comp. It needs to be fair in ranked environment where you adjust to matchups. If they ever make a system with parties, it needs to be unranked. Also, to allow customs for community pre-made burnout or scrims. You just can't risk the integrity of ranked by having solo versus groups. Sure. Mr. Spectacular 37 says, like I'm like sure.
Yeah, no, we've talked about it a lot.
I think kind of everyone is misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I was trying to say, to quickly summarize it in a way that I don't think anybody's going to argue with me, is that if you make
You're wrong.
Sorry. If you make it specifically like this, literally zero casual players will participate.
That's false. That actually is false. That's a dumb thing to say. Rezlar, do not say that. That is false. No, casual players will still play. You cannot say definitively that casual players will not participate if there is not team queuing. That is absolutely false.
If you can't play with your friends, and if it's not worth doing, they're not going to do it.
Yes,
I know, because I'm a casual player.
No,
and I'm not
you are
do
one
it.
Casual player. You are not all casual players. That is completely false.
Let me rephrase this then. There is no incentive for casual players to participate in this if you cannot play it with your friends to increase the quality of the content, and it is not worth doing monetarily. Is that better phrased for you?
No, it's still just wrong. People will still do it. It is still just wrong. You can phrase it however you want, but it is false. Casual players absolutely will queue up for this arena, even solo.
Okay.
Will all of them do it? Maybe not, but a lot will. Some will.
So anyway, the reason I was saying that is because I think that you're going to see not as many people queue up for this as you would, and then that is going to be used as evidence for why you can't. And that's all I'm saying. Because if you would add these sort of things, you would have a lot more people queuing up, and that would be like fine, but you don't, and so they don't, and then that's used for evidence as to why you can't add it. That's all I'm saying.
I cannot believe you still don't understand. I'm not going to even address it. It's crazy, though. My mind is blown that you don't actually understand the concept of how a player pool could be divided by multiple queues, but that's fine.
I do understand that, Frosty.
The one that isn't listening is you, man.
I'm understanding that perfectly. I'm saying that if you have players not participating because you can't do certain things, then you use a lack of players as evidence for why you can't add those things that would make those players play. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
No, it is not. The data proves that it is not. Those players, some of those players still queue up for solo, whether you like it or not. You're still operating under the assumption that solo players, that players that want to play with the team, will absolutely not partake in the solo queue, and they will.
That's false.
It is not false. Look at how many people are casual players that would prefer to play with team that solo queue in League constantly. They solo queue in Lost Ark constantly. You think every player I run into in that shit
false.
is...
I'm saying your assumption of me believing that is false.
I'm not assuming you'll believe that.
Let's move on, shall we?
Yes.
Mr. Spectacular 37 says, "Where can I find the outro song? It sounds pretty lit." It is the band is named Hello Stranger. Its website is linked in the description. Awaken Mystic Man says, "One episode from Reslar's Baby Rage about the Arena into Maywa drama. Amazing." Sui says, "I have been listening to the podcast for over a year now. I'm still looking forward to it every week. In my opinion, if people want to turn off the podcast because of a particular topic, they are entitled to do so. I sometimes skip part of it myself too. No offense, Nyashi." No. Calling Frosty a millionaire who wants to win a yacht, that's probably the most idiotic thing I've heard in a while. To put it in a way you can understand, the state of Lost Ark was more like a Titanic scenario. Most of us are struggling. Only the privileged few can get on the lifeboat. Smilegate and AGS have admitted that themselves, and the Steam number doesn't lie either. It's 1.3 million players at the start. Now it's down to 400k. They can't be all bots, lol. I still enjoy the game very much, but to say Lost Ark can do no wrong, that's just not respecting our time. It's time to take your head out of the sand and take a look at the reality.
It's just not respecting our time. Dude, the meme that we keep saying all the time, my friends and I, is now, because in that Lost Ark post where they were saying that part of the reason that people, they expected people to have the gear to go to Argos, and one of the reasons they cited they didn't make it is because they were surprised by the amount of people doing horizontal content. And we just keep dying laughing at that. Like, that's so funny.
That's all they fucking gave us.
Dude, the funny thing about it is, so now every time anyone says something like, "Oh, man, I keep failing," and it's like, you're kind of horizontal, though. You know what I mean? So it's really your fault that you're failing.
If you just did vertical
it's
content.
like, or if you get wiped in a raid, it's like, fuck, man, I just fucking had to do a Guardian raid and got wiped because three of my teammates were horizontal players. It just sounds so funny. Fucking horizontal players, dude. Stupid idiots. Stop collecting Makoko seeds and get to Argos, you morons. All right?
Stop doing your rapport dailies. Oh, shit. Unreal. Hilarious. That's actually pretty great.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. It wasn't the only reason they cited, but they threw it in there, and I just was like, that is insulting and hilarious. But, okay. Anyway, thanks, Sui, for defending me. Yeah, this whole, I know someone earlier just said too, like, to that comment that said like 500,000 or 700,000 players, like, yeah, that 200,000 daily to Lost Arks 1 million. It's like, dude, those numbers, they fell real hard, real fast. You gotta, I don't know, man. Maybe
it's the honeymoon phase. A lot of people are going to drop off even from that 400,000.
Maybe Korean MMOs don't want to. I don't know what it is. Pearl Abyss and Smilegate, we need to do like an intervention. Like, we need to sit them down and be like, dude, what's happening? I would love to just sit like the executives down, get them on the Value Pack podcast and just be like, what is happening out there, Perlibus? What is happening out there, Smilegate? Some of these really obvious, easy to save your player base things that you could do, you won't do, and it's so baffling. That would be a lit. Imagine having Jay and Gold River on the Value Pack. Woo! We would not be able to bring Nayashe because Blader drama is too much.
Oh my god! Don't even fucking bring that shit up. That would be a big ass podcast, though.
Maybe that would be the finale. A nice little 1v1v1 with Nayashe, Neptunes, and Shaky Bay. I'd be in.
All the finales.
It's like this.
Get all the 1v1s out there.
First, enjoy a 60-minute interview with the 2 biggest CEOs in Korean MMO history, and then conclude with a Blader 1v1v1.
Close it out with a clown fest. Oh my
Close it out with Nayashe, Shaky, and Neptune setting their differences aside and battling to the death. All right, that's all our comments.
Obviously, I've already designed the tickets for this.
Yeah. Oh no, the flyer is done, not the ticket. All right, close it out, Russ. That's it, I think.
Alrighty. Thanks everybody so much for watching / listening. Make sure to leave a comment, letting us know what you think. Thank you again to the patrons and to the Twitch subscribers. Again, links to all of our streams can be found in the description down below. And we'll see y'all next week.